Everybody, realized I had not something that I'm supposed to do before I stream. I gotta mess with that real quick. How's everybody doing? Can't see the chat yet. That's one of the things I didn't do. I'm working on it. Working on it. Button. There's the button. The thing. Stuff. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday. Right? It's Thursday? I think it's Thursday. That button. So many things to do before I actually get on stream. Every time I get on stream, I have to do like 87 things. 87 times. 87 different things. Just so I can get on here and stream. I think that by now, it wouldn't be this hard. 2026. I mean, we are going backwards. Practically the 1950s now. Okay, there we go. I think I got everything. I just need this thing up so I can monitor whether or not I'm lagging. I do be lagging. My wife's fault. It's all her fault. Pop the chat out. Okay, we're not on horizontal, but that's fine. That's fine. Oh wait, no, I don't like being on this actually, because if I'm on this, like everybody looks like they're being restreamed. It's this one. Like this? Oh, I can't. Give me go. No, it's just the wrong one. Damn it. It's a great start to this stream. So far no lag. Knock on one. Pop out the chat. Okay, now I can like see you guys talking. Okay. There we go. We got on live chat, not on top chat. What's happening, Golf Marine? What's happening, Jin? Levon. Mitch McConnell's proof of life is in the obituaries. What's happening to the people? What's going on, guys? For those of you guys who are over there, what's happening, Alan? There is a horizontal stream too. Just in case you don't know that there is a horizontal stream, there is a horizontal stream. You don't have to watch it on the vertical because the vertical is pretty bad. You know, I kind of want to watch the Andrew Tate video. Should probably watch that. You guys have are you guys dealing with a tropical storm right now? You know, there's no actual news when it comes to the weather or climate change anymore. So I have no idea what's going on with the rest of the country. The rest of the country is like, it's just like we only get local news now. Republicans would rather you didn't know about climate change. And also the fact that they're shooting people in the streets. Another one. This is just regular police this time. Yeah, we're back to police officers shooting black men again. This is took some time off, and we had ICE shooting immigrants and just American citizens, and now we're back to police officers shooting black men. So, yeah, just returning to the old days, making America great again. Oh, Jesus Christ. Junior, you ain't got no verticals? Dude, I don't even want to think about me trying to jump. Okay? Every once in a while when I'm in the store, when I'm working in a store, I gotta jump to put something in a box, and I make sure to look around and make sure nobody's looking. Don't want anybody to see that. Don't want anybody to see me trying to jump. Yeah, they killed another. Mason, yeah. It is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. On both channels at the same time? Hell yeah, Woke Mike. Double it up, brother. All we need is the 80s gangs to come out of retirement. Yeah, we need the Bloods and the Crips from the 80s. That's what we need, Levon. That, like, It ain't what it used to be. Back in my day, well, let's start this off fast, because I got a lot to get to. And I only have a little bit of time here. So, have you guys seen, speaking of Donald Trump and how completely and absolutely unpopular Donald Trump is, because he's a complete douchebag, and the only people that are left are people that are morally bankrupt that still follow and support him. Have you seen that it's actually hit a all-time low? Donald Trump setting the records that he deserves. Donald Trump now is, I believe, the most maligned president of all time. There's this video. Let's watch this video first, and we'll get into his net approval rating. Even his own supporters hate him. So this is a Newsweek story, and this first video up here is Trump rejecting claims Americans oppose Iran war. Like, they definitely don't. We definitely don't oppose it. You're all just making shit up.
What do you say to families of these fallen soldiers when Americans are wrongly against this war? How do you ask them?
Well, Americans aren't against the war. A poll just came out. Americans don't.
He's like, I looked at a poll on True Social that my guys did on True Social people. True Social people are 99% for the war.
Want high gasoline prices, but they're not against the war.
They don't want high gasoline prices. Oh my God.
They're not against the war. That just came out loud and clear in a poll. Nobody wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Do you want Iran to have a nuclear?
But Saudi Arabia can definitely have a nuclear weapon. You know what I like about that is all the people that are going to go, well, he's not saying that they can have a nuclear weapon. You know that that's literally the same deal that Iran had with Obama. And if you look at the, actually, it's the deal between, I believe it was Qatar and I want to say it was Obama, but it was probably started by Bush Jr. in 2009. Like, that's considered like the gold standard for nuclear enrichment. And this deal that he's doing with Saudi Arabia right now is absolute dog shit. There are no concessions. They're just literally giving them the ability to develop nuclear power, which, by the way, I'm for nuclear power. I have no problem with that. It's just a hypocrisy of somebody saying, you know, oh, we have to go to war with these people. We have to destroy everything about them, you know, destroy their entire culture. Why? Because they had 60% uranium. 60% uranium is what you use for energy, right? And the reason that they continue to say the word 2 weeks, they're always saying 2 weeks, is because it takes 2 weeks to enrich uranium from 60% to 90%, which would be weapons grade. But of course, once again, there's a reason that Iran has only struck targets on within its general vicinity and has not struck intercontinental places like America. It's because they don't have the missiles for it, the missiles. They don't have the missiles for it. They don't have ICBMs. And that's like generally how you're going to actually create a nuclear weapon that people have to be concerned about. So, you know, Saudi Arabia, of course, the home of terrorizers that did 9/11. No big deal. No big deal. Completely forget about that. They should be fine. It should be safe. We're really worried about Iran having a nuclear weapon, but we're definitely not worried about the country that, you know, sawed a reporter into multiple pieces, stuffed him in a suitcase, and then had a body double walk out of the building for him. That's no concerns there. You know why? Because Jared Kushner has like $100 billion from them now.
Nuclear weapon? You think it's good? Go ahead.
What is your will speech to the families? What will you say to them today?
All I'm going to say is we love you. We love your child, and that's what they are to them. They're their children.
Yeah, he loves the children.
There's no games, no nothing. That's their child. And all you can do is throw out your heart.
Throw out your heart. This man, even when he's trying to say something nice, he is absolutely the worst fucking person. The only thing you can do is throw out your heart. Wait, what? What the fuck? Throw out your heart, bro. So anyways, we're going to get down here. President Donald Trump's net approval rating has hit its lowest level ever, according to a new poll. Apparently not the poll that Donald Trump was reading about the war on Iran. The survey conducted by the American Research Group between July 16th and 20th revealed that a total of 30% of Americans approved of Trump's handling of his job as president. His overall job. We're not talking about economy. We're not talking about deportations. We're not talking about the war in Iran. His actual net approval rating is now 30%. If you're a part of that 30%, just go ahead and drink that final cup of Kool-Aid, brother. Go ahead, put the Nikes on, get in the bunk, and travel with a comet. We need you out of here. Just go ahead, opt out, brother. So Trump's handling of his job as president, while 67% disapproved. This gave Trump a net approval rating of negative 37%, his lowest rating yet. In June, a poll conducted by the same pollster revealed that 30% of Americans approved of Trump's performance, while 66% disapproved. And that's, of course, within the 1% margin of error of the poll. White House spokesman Davis Engel has dismissed the poll, telling Newsweek the ultimate poll was November 5th, 2024, when nearly 80 million Americans overwhelmingly elected him. Look, he ain't wrong. It was a Rorschach test in stupidity. The amount of dumb Americans in this country was exposed on November 5th, 2024. That is completely true. He is correct. That's the only poll that matters because, yes, whatever, 25% of those people now have figured out, 50% of those people have now figured out that they're complete, utterly useless morons. But they did do that. He's correct. They did do that. Engel says the administration's policies are producing results and that this is just the beginning as Trump's agenda continues to take effect. That sounds more like a threat than a promise. That really just fucking sounds more like a threat than a promise. It's just getting started. Why it matters, presidential approval ratings are not election results.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
That right there. You can see this very nice graph here. The beautiful graph. the fucking gigantic gap between the approval and disapproval. Absolutely excellent. How do I get out of this? There we go. Okay. I'm not doing well here. What do we do here? Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm pushing all kinds of buttons. Where's Pamela at? I'm pushing the buttons, Pamela. Oh, we are lagging. That's why. Who pushed the button? Oh, Jesus, look at this. I am everywhere all at once. Okay, we're getting back into it. We're getting back to it. It's gonna happen. Okay. So, I think it's because I use an A blocker. I think YouTube does not like that. The latest American Research Group survey conducted between 16th to 20th among 1,100 adults nationwide carries a margin of error plus or minus 3%. So, best case scenario, Trump has a 33%. Mitch McConnell threw his heart out. He did indeed. He did indeed. Greetings from Fort Worth, T-Bone. My mom's from Big Springs. Was that poll on the Congress Republican side? Only you know it was. Dude, they just show him whatever freaking polls that make him happy, right? He's got the human printer lady that follows him around and prints out good stories about him. I like that they say this. While Trump's overall approval has stabilized at 30% over the past 2 months. It's stabilized at 30%, guys. You're a Texan and you're heavily leaning towards Tellerico in November. Your main concern is gun rights. I'm tired of him going full Beto. Nah, he's not going to. Tellerico's a very, very, I would say, like, you know, what you call, he's progressive for a left-wing person, but to be honest with you, he's got a lot of, you know, faith-based stuff going on. He's as far as like religious leaders go, I actually really like James Tellerico. I've listened to a couple of his sermons. I'm a secular humanist. I am not religious, but I like the way that he does his thing. I like the way that he talks about treating people well. I like that he seems like he's a pretty common sense person. I don't think you have anything to worry about when it comes to Second Amendment. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I own a firearm. Every liberal that I know, for the most part, owns firearms. Obviously, I think that there's a lot of fear and attempts to freak people out about the Obama's coming to get my guns thing. I think most Democrats are going to come across are pro Second Amendment. They just want common sense gun laws like background checks. I mean, like, I'm for red flag laws. I do understand that can be a slippery slope. I don't think that it's as bad as people think it is. I do think that people that have been accused of domestic violence should have their guns taken away during the investigation, because something like 2 women a day are murdered by their spouse or by their significant other in domestic violence incidents involving guns. I do think that if obviously an investigation is done and you are found to be innocent, your gun should be returned to you. But I think that if you are found to be guilty and you are abusing your wife because of the statistics, I believe that you should have your guns taken away from you. So there are times that I do believe that. Self-storage. Tellerico is wanting to stop individual. He wants to stop gun show. As far as I live in California. It's not really that hard to get a gun. And also, like, self-storage stuff. Like, I just think that most of that stuff is a little over-exaggerated. I have a firearm. I don't have any issues with the way I have to store it. I don't have any. I've told people before, when it comes to home, being a person that grew up in a place where these kind of things happen, people have where I grew up. I have been asleep next door when someone was tied up and robbed. I can tell you this: the majority of the time, you're not getting to that firearm. It doesn't matter in a home invasion. You're better off having a small arm like a knife or a bludgeoning object like a baseball bat. The chance of getting to a firearm generally in a home invasion is usually going to be very, very, very small percentage, and you're much more likely to shoot somebody that you love than the person that you're trying to shoot. And that's why I have swords all over my house and a baseball bat. I grew up in a bad place. But I think James Tellerico is a really good dude. And he's obviously much better than, what's his name? Paxton. Oh, Jesus Christ. Kenneth Paxton is a horrible human being. The person that he freed from jail after only 6 months, who was part of the Trump administration, by the way, had abused a child for 3 years between the ages of 6 and 9. And before anybody's like, well, he was accused. No, he was found guilty, and he actually did actually admit to doing that. So, I mean, it's the choice between a guy who may, make it harder for you to get a gun and may stop like person-to-person sales. Which even in California, you can still like inherit a gun. You can't you can still sell a gun from a person to person. It just has to go through a gun shop. Like if I want to sell my gun to my stepbrother, right? All I have to do is go to a gun shop and say, I want to sell this gun to him, and then they go through the process for me. So even then, like it's the same thing. He's anti-marijuana as well. Well, that's that's just one more thing on his problem. But I woke up, got robbed and tied up, and my underwear was on backwards. At least they put your underwear on, bro. Can I go out and find them in the wild? I mean, I'm sure I could if I went down to Watts. Going back to my old neighborhood, I guarantee I could find a couple guns in the wild. Also, where I grew up, person-to-person sales happened every day. You just got to go look in the trunk. All right. Anyways, back to the poll numbers. Sorry, I got distracted. Looking at the broader trend, Trump's standing in the survey has declined steadily from 38% approval in July of 2025 to 30% today. Just the fact that he was 38% last July is pretty fucking insane. I mean, it's not really saying much to go from 38 to 30. It's like they didn't like you and now they don't like you even more, right? In July 2018, American Research Group found 37% approval and 57% disapproval, giving him a net rating of minus 20 points. That was 8 years ago. This is nothing new for Donald Trump. He has been disliked forever. American views on economy has soured. Look at like how many people think the economy is terrible. I mean, bad is still above positive, but terrible is all the way the fuck up here at like 60% of people. You just went out and found one laying against a tree? You're not even in Texas. That's Arizona. Economic stewardship has traditionally been one of Trump's strongest political assets. The latest data suggests that advantage has eroded significantly. Just 28% of Americans approve of Trump's handling of the economy, while 70% disapprove, according to the July 2026 poll. That's insane. Like 70% of people are like, this dude's doing a terrible job. Where's the other one here? There's another one in here. Independents remain a major problem. From a political and electoral perspective, perhaps the most significant numbers in the survey come from independent voters. Among Republicans, Trump still commands majority support, with 67% approving of his job performance. Just the fact that 31% are disapproving, that's actually kind of huge. Although he does have like one of the highest within party approval ratings of any Republican president for sure, and also I think maybe like Barack Obama had like a higher percentage than he does within his party. Democrats are almost universally opposed, with just 1% approving. Who is the 1% of Democrats that are like, yeah, he doing pretty good? Who the fuck are these people? I want to meet the Democrat that is willing to say that Donald Trump is doing a good job with the economy. I need to meet this 1%. They're paid by AIPAC, right? Paid $3.85 for a gallon of gas today. Yeah, and you're in Texas. That's insane. $3.85 in Texas is insane. It went over $4 again. I think Brent crude today hit 112. I could be wrong, but it could have been 102. I might be wrong about that, but I think it was $112 Brent crude. And here's the crazy thing about that. So a lot of people are talking about the fact that, like, you know, the oil went down so quickly, back down to, what was it, 68, which I think when we went into the war is at 71, which 68 is still pretty fucking high, by the way. By the way, just so everybody can remember this shit, $68 a barrel still equals like almost $3 a gallon. It's still high. It's still high. We've never came down off the 30% inflation rates of COVID on anything, whether it's gas or it's food or it's rent or it's energy. When we talk about there was a jump between 25 and 30% in our cost during COVID, and then since then, like, Biden took it down from, I believe, 19% was the highest the inflation rate was at the time, all the way down to like 2.4 or 2.7 on his way out the door. But even at that point, you have to remember that when we talk about inflation rates being 3-4%, we're talking about that they are 3 or 4% higher than the year before. So that means it's never came down off that 30%. When we talk about inflation going down, we're not talking about prices going down. We're talking about the inflation of the prices slowing down. So when we say, oh, inflation is only 2% now, that means that it is 2% more than it was the year before, or 2% more than a month before, depending on which statistic you're talking about. So we jumped 25 to 30% inflationary during COVID, and we have gone up significantly, probably on average, I would say, if you price in the COVID years, since 2020, probably on average, I would say like a good estimate is 5%, right? And now we're at 3.5%, I think, for June. And of course, we're going to skyrocket back to like 4.2% by the end of July because of energy costs now going way the fuck up. Like, this is insane that anybody is like, hey, this is a good economy. I got an eagle for 400 Ginny. I don't know what that means, but thank you for the 400 joules. Thank you. All right. Independent. So let's talk about the independents real quick. Okay, so among the Republicans, Trump still commands 67%, 31% disapproving. Like I said, that's crazy. 1% of Democrats saying that this economy is good is also crazy. Independents, however, offer a picture of Trump's broader challenge. Just 25% approve of his job performance, while 70% disapprove. If you have 70% of independents disapproving of your job, you are going to lose the midterms. You are going to lose the midterms, you're going to lose the Senate, and you're going to lose the House. That is if Democrats can stop eating each other and actually make it to the polls instead of acting like a bunch of whiny bitches that can't stop fighting with each other. That's not in the article. That's just what I'm saying. On the economy, the pattern is similar. Among independents, 22% approve of Trump's handling of economic issues, while 74% disapprove. That's just insane. Recession fears continue to rise. They shouldn't continue to rise. We are in a recession. This is a recession. The latest survey found 66% saying the economy is in a recession, compared with just 19% who disagree. Once again, I would love to meet this 19%. You live in la la land. Household finances reflect broader anxiety. Only 25% of Americans rate their household financial situation as excellent, very good, or good. Now, mind you, look at that. They're clumping 3 different into this to get 25%. By contrast, 67% describe their finances as bad, very bad, or terrible. Just 4% say their household finances are improving, while 72% say they are getting worse. And by the way, now, wages, what was it, just last month? Dude, don't talk about DDR-RAM. DDR-RAM, like, you're not ever getting another computer, Redunk. You better, like, love this computer you have now. You're going to need to make this computer last for the rest of your life. It's over. It's over. Like, RAM through the roof, SSD drives through the roof, graphic cards through the roof. Like, there is not going to be a computer part that is left that a person in the middle class can purchase. This shit is over. It is becoming a luxury economy. If you are a part of the top 5% in this country, you will have things. And if you are in the bottom 95% of the people in this country, you will have nothing and you will be happy. 19% expect it to remain unchanged, and 65% believe it will be worse. So 84% of people believe that it will either remain this bad or it will get worse. Pessimism has even spread among Trump supporters. Perhaps the most notable shift in the survey is not among critics of the president, but among supporters. Back in February 2025, when 43% approved of Trump's performance, once again, only 43% back. That was 1 month into his fucking him being the president of the United States, and already 43% of people approved. Already 46% had said no thanks. Now, among the 30% who still approve of Trump's performance, only 14% believe the economy will be better a year from now. A clear majority of Trump supporters, 61%, expect the national economy to be worse a year from now. Confidence in personal finances has also weakened. Among those who approve of the president, only 14% expect their household financial situation to improve over the next year, while 41% expect it to deteriorate. That's insane.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
It's a good question. During the Biden administration, I said this over and over again to Trump supporters that would come into my chat, and they'd say the economy is bad. The economy is bad. And I go, with what metric are you talking about? And of course, they don't understand metrics. They were just regurgitating talking points. And this is a problem with people getting all of their opinions from influencers or from YouTube videos and never actually understanding things themselves. If you wanted to make a good argument during the Biden administration that the economy was bad, you wanted to make the argument that CPI reflected through how much home prices have increased, how much inflationary prices during COVID increased and never came down, how much energy prices have increased, all of these things that directly affect the middle class and below. If you're middle class, if you're upper middle class, because really the upper middle class is just the middle class now, and the middle class is really the lower middle class, and the lower middle class is now the impoverished. If you were one of those people, even during Biden's administration, for a lot of people, it felt really bad, but they could not tell you why it felt bad. And the reason they couldn't tell you why it felt bad was because they were just searching for somebody that had an opinion that was similar to theirs. They were getting confirmation bias, and then they were regurgitating it without actually understanding the subject matter which they were trying to speak to. If you wanted to say during Biden's administration that you thought that the economy bad, you couldn't point towards GDP. You couldn't point towards the inflationary rate, even at the point that he was leaving the office, because he was making huge strides in reducing the inflation rate. You couldn't point out the unemployment rate. You couldn't point out anything, even wage growth rate. All of those things, as far as metrics go, were pointed in the correct direction. And if you're just being honest, if you're not just being a Trump dick rider, you can sit there and say to yourself that coming out of Biden's presidency, if Donald Trump wouldn't have touched a goddamn thing, just left shit alone, he right now could be riding along on the wave of all of Biden's achievements. I mean, he's trying to. The other day he said that trans people were the only people that could get the credits from the freaking Chips and Science Act. He's using the Chips and Science Act constantly. I mean, he's in love with it. He bought 10% of the shares of Intel with government money. The man 100% supports the CHIPS Act. He just doesn't understand it. He thinks because transistors is part of the language that somehow means that, you know, only trans people can get those benefits. I don't understand. The man can't read, okay? The man can't read, and the people around him, I think, are just letting him just dodder into the spotlight and say dumb shit all day while they go and just absolutely rape our economy. That's what I'm going with. But anyways, you're looking for a secondary market for a set. You're going to buy a couple sticks to match the pair last bought. 3 times what you paid in 2018. You better buy them now. I'll be honest with you. This is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. If I were you, I'd just buy them at whatever the cost is now. Because, I mean, you can buy them secondary market. That's true, if you can find them somewhere. But even then, those are going to be super expensive. Like graphics cards and stuff like that are going to be super expensive. You're just not going to find computer parts in the next decade unless something fundamentally changes. If Donald Trump gets removed, when potentially the House and Congress is, or I'm sorry, the House and the Senate is flipped, which I put in the low 10% that'll even happen, even if we do get blue and blue. I still think people like Fetterman will cock block an impeachment. I think there's enough establishment Democrats that will not vote for impeachment that will hold up that process. Unless something fundamentally changes about our relationship with the rest of the world, you're not going to see. I mean, one of the craziest things about the Biden administration, I think it was Larry Ellison. I forgot how much he donated, but donated a ton of money to Biden's administration the first time, but obviously donated to Trump the second time. And I steadfastly believe the reason he did that is because Joe Biden closed the door on AI. Joe Biden, on his last 6 months of being the president of the United States, did not really engage with people like Elon Musk or with Sam Altman and the rest of these guys. He had a very, let's take it slow, let's bring semiconductors back to the country, let's get people good jobs. In my opinion, he had a great common sense way of going about it. And, Trump obviously was like, stuff dollars in my pocket and you guys can do whatever to whoever you want. And that's why all of this shit's out of control now. That's these, AI companies are sucking up the water supply. They're, sucking up all the graphics units, all the hard drives, the cloud storage, everything. They are literally hoarding every resource when it comes to technology right now. And the funny thing about that is they're getting their ass beat by China. They're still getting their ass beat by China. That's insane. All of this is happening right now. It is an absolute struggle as an American to still be able to pay your bills, to buy groceries, and hopefully have enough money to go, stay for a couple days at a fucking campground. And meanwhile, China's like, check out this AI we made that's better than Anthropic, better than ChatGPT, and it cost a third of what it cost for them to make it. That's insane. That's insane. I would also buy a bunch of guns right now. Not financial advice. Do I want to give JD a chance at a 10-year bid? I'm not. No, because the same thing. He's just. His literal overlord is freaking Peter Thiel, dude. It's all bad. It's all bad. There's that's what I'm saying. I'm not making the case that things get better. I'm telling you, buy all your shit right now. I'm like, this is probably the cheapest it will be over the next decade. I don't think that to be honest with you, I'm not even sure unless you get in like an actual like DSA candidate into the presidency that you're going to see any pushback against the AI oligarchs. Right now, I was just watching something the other day that was talking about the fact that Larry Ellison, you know, what was he? He was the richest person in the world for like a couple months earlier this year, you know, before Elon Musk became a paper trillionaire, on paper trillionaire. He was the richest person in the world. Larry Ellison, to get a loan to purchase, I believe it's Warner Brothers, or maybe it's David Ellison. I don't know which one's in charge of the finances now, but I think it's Larry Ellison. It was something like he had to front like $2 to $7 billion because his credit is so bad. When that dude has to put up billions of dollars because he's so far in cash debt, right? Like he still has plenty of assets, but he's so far in cash debt that the private credit that normally keeps these guys afloat wants him to put up $2 to $7 billion or they can't give him a loan. That's bad. That means that if shit even goes minorly sideways for these people, it all crashes. The stock market goes through the fucking floor. Your 401ks lose 50 to 75%. The economy slows to a fucking halt. There's absolutely zero way that Ellison, Altman, Musk, Thiel, the rest of these douchebags are going to allow any candidate to be elected to the president of the United States that will not keep them afloat and continue to subsidize the bullshit they're doing right now. Absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance. JD would be the worst. We get JD if they impeach, right? Yeah. I believe Mike Johnson is somewhere in between the two as far as like he has to convene the House and stuff to approve JD becoming the president once. I can't remember that whole process, but the Speaker of the House is somehow involved in that process as well. They must know you can afford it. No, that's not really how private credit works, to be honest with you. It's a really weird. We should watch a video on that sometime. We should watch a video on how private credit works. It's fucking insane, and it's actually we should look at the debt that's currently being accrued in the private credit area right now. Like people don't understand. The economy itself right now is on the razor's edge of just plummeting into the basement. And I've said this a couple times now, and I'm going to continue to say this. I think that when we like boast about like, you know, being number one economy in the world and stuff like that, I don't think that's true anymore. I think that both America and China's economy is having a really hard time right now. I do believe that right now the reason that oil has stayed as low as it did when it dropped down to $68 is if you looked at China when oil got cheap, China did not purchase a bunch of oil. They continued to work off their reserves. They continued to keep their production limits on, so that way people weren't using large amounts of oil. And to me, that says that the only reason that they don't purchase that oil at that time is because that they don't need that oil. There is no, they're not asking for it. There is no consumer for it. And I think that speaks really poorly to where the economy is at for China. I think that also speaks really poorly to where we're at here in America. I'm telling you right now, it's just bad. Speaking of wars, I want to watch this one. Let's watch something funny. This is just trying to survive at this point. Stacy, I'm with you. Like, I mean, I would be considered upper middle class, and I tell you right now, it's a struggle to be upper middle class. By the way, I don't make shit off of YouTube. I do this for the love of the game. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys my freaking financials for YouTube someday. You guys can see where I make $1.11 for a video. I do this for the love of the game. And when I get gulagged, I want you guys to remember that. When they finally come and fucking tackle me and send me to the gulag, I remember I did this shit for $1.11 a video. All right, let's watch something funny because we have to break it up. And Benny's not here to yell at me. Well, I don't know. Benny might be lurking. Benny, don't yell at me because I have to laugh. This is how I keep going. All right, so we've got Iran war back on. Iran war. It's like the clapper. Iran war off. Iran war on, Iran war off, Iran war on. I mean, isn't it all just market manipulation? Isn't it all just gas, oil companies just making $1 bajillion off of us right now? That's what it's got to be, right? So Iran war back on. Pete Hegseth has told us that that they destroyed the entire Iranian military, but somehow there's enough military left over there to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed. And also apparently enough to still fight a war with, because that's what we're doing right now. And it's funny because it's fun to watch YouTubers try to keep up with content on this Iran war. I literally just watched the other day a channel I like to watch for geopolitical stuff and wars and stuff like that, and they had created a video that just came out today that was talking about the war being over. First comment on that bastard was, who's gonna tell him? So anyways, the only people that can keep up with this stuff is 22 minutes. 22 minutes. The Canadians are sitting up there, sitting pretty, watching the meth fire happening down south, and they're doing a good job of mocking the shit out of us, and I am so here for it. So this is a little bit of an older one, but since we're back on, it's still relevant. It was like 4 months ago this was made. We're back on, so this one's still relevant. It's a peek through the curtains of Donald Trump's Situation Room. This hour has 22 minutes. The Canadians get mad at me when I just call it 22 minutes. It's this hour has 22 minutes, which is a play on the fact that when you watch a hour-long TV show, you only get 22 minutes. It's like watching me on a live stream. All right, so here we go.
Mr. President, I will now begin the briefing.
Let's plan a great war, okay? I know the First World War is what they call the Great War, but I think this war is pretty great, right? Welcome to Mar-a-Lago Salon B. There's a wedding in Salon A, okay? And they've asked me...
That's right. Didn't they at one point, didn't they uncover that Donald Trump was doing war room stuff at Mar-a-Lago? I mean, I say these things and they sound crazy, but I'm pretty sure it was true. I mean, he really needs a ballroom, though, guys. He really needs a ballroom.
Okay? And they've asked me to keep it down.
Mr. President, all due respect, we are planning a major airstrike. We should be in the Oval Office or the Situation Room. This ballroom is not secure.
We could not be more secure. It's VIP only. Now I'm DJing the wedding, so what's the Wi-Fi?
So the network is Mar-a-Lago Guest, and the password is Trump 2026, all one word.
Oh.
Very nice. That could. She might actually know his actual Wi-Fi password. That's possible.
And the password is Trump 2026, all one word.
All one word. You hear that? It's very secure. Continue.
Well, Tehran has unleashed its own wave of attacks against Israel and the Gulf, and the Iranians are blocking the Strait of Hormuz.
See? Still relevant. Still relevant.
You hear that? They love this one. They're called the Village People.
Excellent choice, sir.
Sir, we can't have music. We need to focus.
You're making this a very boring war, you know that?
Dude, how real is that? That's exactly what it sounds like.
Oh, you can't be in here.
But this is my table. You're in my section.
I'll have a look at that.
Sir, we can't keep running things like this.
Okay, who wants to bet he gets a steak with ketchup?
A U.S. Tomahawk missile hit civilians. Iran doesn't have them. So we are trying to ascertain who ordered the Tomahawk.
I did.
Wait, you did, Mr. President? Are you sure?
You're a tomahawk steak, sir.
It's the biggest and therefore the best.
Excellent. There it is. Oh, dude, I called it. The little bottle of ketchup. That's the tiniest bottle of ketchup I've ever seen.
Excellent choice, sir.
Not the steak, the missile. We're trying to confirm who ordered the missile.
Also me, probably. I mean, I'm not sure, but I don't read the news, you know? I'm not a news guy.
Didn't that shit actually say Ohio, made in Ohio, like on the missile?
No, get out! Hey, this is top secret.
The top secret, which is the best secret, and the secret is we're bombing Iran. It's our little secret.
No.
Isn't this a great war?
You're not listening.
The great war. The greatest, quite frankly.
Did you guys see when Spain won the World Cup and he tried to do his little dance and they just kept pushing him off the stage? Like he tried so hard. What's that, Aloysius? I mean, it's still. Yeah, he really wants to nuke Iran. That is correct. Like, what do they have? The B2s over there right now? Yeah. Guarantee he has already asked a couple times if he can just drop a nuclear weapon. He's just literally trying to get somebody to get him to do it. Just anybody. Athletes were doing his dance. Not during the celebration. There was like one that was doing like a one-handed jerk off, but I didn't see anybody because I watched it live, so maybe I missed something, but I saw him pushing him along. I do know that the Belgium athletes, after they beat the United States, mocked him by doing his dance after they scored their 4th goal on us, and then mocked him again by doing his dance inside the locker room. That was some sad shit. Greatest seal in presidential history, 1000%. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that, but maybe I'll go back and watch it, Lucius. Maybe I'll go back. I do know this. I'll say this right now. You know what? Everybody's giving Argentine a lot of shit. Argentina, sorry. Replay it in slow-mo. I don't think I want to replay it in slow-mo. Everybody's giving Argentina a lot of shit, mostly because Messi's on the team. But I'll tell you this. 2 of those Argentinian athletes walked directly past Donald Trump and did not shake his hand. Out of everybody, 2 of them just straight up walked right past his ass and did not shake his hand. It is fucking amazing. But yeah, so, you know, you might not like Argentina. I watched a gigantically long video on Argentina today. It was like an hour and 15 minutes of Argentinian history. Good God, that country has a lot of issues politically. But beyond that, we gave them a lot of shit. 2 of their athletes literally just like walked right past Trump and did not. One Spaniard did as well, huh? I didn't see the Spaniard. Apparently I missed a lot. All right. Anyways, here, since we just did that one, let's watch this other one too. Anybody that was here last week, or was it Monday? No, it was last week. We watched the 22 minutes video on Trump going to Greenland, where I also Spain had a lot to do with Argentina too. Yeah. Anybody that was here last week watched the Trump Goes to Greenland, where Mark Critch goes to Greenland and impersonates Trump, and apparently he was walking around as Trump talking to people in Greenland, and some of the Canadians over there on the channel were saying that that people actually tried to assault him in Greenland because they thought he was Trump. And I did see, thanks to my Canadian subscribers over there on the Funny Clips channel, they had said that there was an interview with Mark Critch on the video being made in Greenland, in which he talks about some of his experiences. So I really wanted to watch this video with you guys. This is kind of a behind the scenes on the 22 minutes, and I've really been enjoying the This Hour's 22 Minutes videos. And this is Mark Critch out of character, I think. Talking about his experience in Greenland, impersonating Donald Trump. So this is This Hour is 22 minutes, and the video is called Mark Critch on taking Trump to Greenland in 22-minute sketch.
I'm President Trump, and I'm here to make Greenland the 51st state. I really am.
You know, when he started so heavily on Greenland, it was kind of a mix of, oh my God, I can't believe Trump is doing this. And also a little bit of jealousy, thinking, didn't you just want us as your 51st state? We're right here. You were trying to invade us a minute ago. You've forgotten us already. I was getting more and more frustrated the way he talks about it. And being a Canadian, you hear all this.
Now he wants to attack Mali, right? Like, it's like the 8th country? It'll be the 8th country Donald Trump has bombed in the first year and a half that he has been the president of the United States. Peace president, by the way, guys. Peace president. No new wars. We just bombed like 8 countries. No big deal.
Stuff, you know, everybody has
sending me this Canadian propaganda. The Canadians? Who do you think's sending it? It's not the Chinese. The Canadians are sending me the Canadian propaganda, and I am falling hook, line, and sinker for it.
Canadian, you hear all this stuff, everybody has, there's 5 people who live up there, they all live in Toronto, etc. And so when he was talking about how there's nobody up there, how, it's, and would sometimes call it Iceland, I'd get frustrated. And I thought, what would happen if he actually took the time to visit the places he plans to invade? So then I was talking to a field producer on the show, Corey Gibson, who I travel with when we do a lot of this stuff. And we talked about it. I guess you could go. I went to Mike Allison, the producer. It's a crazy idea. What if I go to Greenland? And he's like, oh, yeah, okay, talk to me. I said, but what if I went as Trump? And I've never done a character piece the whole time on a road trip before. And it was like, you know what? Let's swing for the fences and see what happens.
Dude, they should have given him like some fucking secret CIA as well. Like, they should have definitely hired some bodyguards for this dude.
So we went. My idea,
it would be just our luck that somebody would try to take Trump out and they'd accidentally get Mark Critch, right? Like that's our luck right now. We would lose the legendary Mark Critch and Trump would be like, they didn't get me.
Was talk to people as Trump, but then at the end I wanted to ask everybody.
Oh, we could have sent nice agents. Exactly.
But then at the end, I wanted to ask everybody to speak to the camera as if you were talking to the real Donald Trump. What would you say? An experience you can laugh at is one you have to have a shared experience of. You know what I mean? When you laugh at something, 2 people are really communicating and kind of agreeing on something. So as a Canadian, I was talking to these Greenlandic people, and I wanted to say, like, yeah, us too, man. Isn't that crazy? But we get that we are our own sovereign places, and that'll never change. So it was comforting in a way to talk to the neighbors about the other neighbor. There's a few protesters at this point. It was after the main protest, because I don't want to disrupt anything, right? And then I got up there and I start talking, and like I said, this like impromptu press conference breaks out, and I walk off and I go, oh, that was weird. And then he kind of comes up to me and he kind of shoves me, and as he's talking, he slaps my face and he pushes my chest, and I thought,
oh, that was real. Oh, that's crazy. Because I thought it was, when we first watched it, I was like, this is like a little aggro. I was like, dude's a little aggressive. I was like, he's doing a really good job of acting. Apparently he was not acting. Okay. All right.
That's my face. And he pushes my chest. And I thought, dude, I'm not him. But he got kind of fired up. And I thought, well, I'm just going to stay in character. And then at the end, it's a nice resolve. We have been featured on Fox News a couple of times. They played the clips. So I assume he's always got that on. So maybe he knows, maybe not. I think if he did know, there would have been a tweet on Truth Social going, Critch thinks he's like me, but his giant pale head is nothing like mine, quite frankly. I've heard terrible things about Newfoundlanders. I would think that if he stepped back and realized that a comedian from Canada would be willing to fly to Greenland because it's so ridiculous that he would actually stop and listen to the people he's talking about, that it actually made it an easy decision because that would be so funny to hear him listen that we were willing to fly to Greenland.
He messed up at Trump would listen. The only voice Trump ever hears is his own voice. That's it. He doesn't hear anything from anybody else unless they're talking about how much they love him. And I think Critch is wrong. I think that if Trump heard and saw that, he would actually, his ego is so through the roof, he would just be like, the Canadians love me. They want to be a part of Mark Critch. He said, I want to be the 51st state. That Canada should be at Greenland. He's very jealous of me. Like, there's 100% chance. Just think about this. Think about it this way. If Trump got everything that he wanted, if Trump got Cuba, if Trump became a partner in the Strait of Hormuz, if Trump took Canada, if Trump took Cuba, we already have Marco Rubio as the de facto president of Venezuela, right? Like, he's already out there with, what's her name? Delcy Martinez. Like, is that her last name? Delcy Rodriguez? I don't remember her last name. The vice president of Venezuela that became the president after they abducted Maduro. He's already, announcing when she's going to foreign nations. He's obviously, in charge of much of what's going on in Venezuela right now. But we haven't done anything, right? We haven't done anything for Venezuela. He claims that we went over there during the earthquake. I don't think that happened, to be honest with you. I'm going to need to see video proof of that. But he claims that we would. We were just watching this Iranian video where, at the beginning of the Iranian war, there was a faction of Iranians that were saying, like, this is a good thing. We do want the Americans to come here. We do want them to regime change this horrific regime. And now they hate us more than the other Iranians because literally those people got rounded up and murdered by the Iranian government. And Trump, he also murdered them. So they got double murdered by both Trump for lying and saying he's going to come help and them standing up, and then also by Trump dropping bombs that were made in Ohio on them. So every time I say Ohio, I'm like, Gen Alpha Child is going to react to that. He's going to get very 6'7" about that. But it's like, what will we do with any of that? We have strangled the Cubans to the point that their infrastructure is collapsing. It is folding on itself. And so what do we do? That we can't feed our veterans. We can't feed our homeless people. We can't give our people health care. But now we're gonna take care of the Cubans? How? We're gonna, improve Venezuelan infrastructure with the non-existent infrastructure that we have? They probably have a better working public transportation system than we do. Let's just be honest. If we had Venezuela, if we had Canada, if we had Cuba, if we had the Strait of Hormuz, if we had all of these things, you know what would happen? It would still all go to shit. In fact, it would all go to shit even faster. We're just stealing the oil. That's literally what we're doing. And the best part about that is we have nothing to do with it. Like, we've got all this oil, we literally still can't keep oil prices down. We have the largest reservoir of oil in the world in Venezuela at our fingertips, and yet we can't stop the price of oil from reaching over $100 a barrel because Donald Trump's a moron and keeps going to war in Iran. Anyways, that's what's going on with that. So let's stop ranting for 5 seconds, and let's watch Pete Hegseth actually getting grilled by John Ossoff. I like Ossoff, actually. I didn't know a lot about Ossoff. I know a lot of people are going to be like, you're an idiot, you should have known this. But he's actually really awesome. John Ossoff, this was the 21st. He had Hegseth, and he grilled him on the Iranian war. The Iranian war. It's happening, 5 Alarm. What's going on, buddy? It's good to see you as well. Have you left the country yet? I might be moving to Canada. It might happen. This is Hegseth getting absolutely ripped by, well, I wouldn't even say absolutely ripped. John Ossoff, he has a very strategic, efficient way of going about kind of taking apart these people in the Trump administration. And he had Pete Hegseth up there talking to him about the Iranian war and, being a gigantic fucking failure because all he is a Fox News host. And he should have never been given this position, like 97% of the people in Trump's administration. So let's watch this and let's comment a little bit on it. And you can tell me whether or not you think you did a good job in the comments.
Mr. Hegseth, you're requesting roughly $68 billion for the department through the supplemental.
Remember, guys, we're broke. We don't have any money. We're $40 trillion in debt. He's asking for another $67 billion. Billion with a capital B.
For the department through the supplemental, correct?
67, yes.
67.
And yesterday...
Did he do that? Did he do that on purpose? Did he do that on purpose?
Your department stated publicly, quote, U.S. forces struck Iranian military command centers, maritime capabilities, missile and drone launch sites, and air defense systems to degrade Iran's ability to continue attacking commercial vessels. That was a press release from your department. Is that a broadly accurate characterization of ongoing operations?
That sounds broadly accurate, yes.
On day 14 of this conflict, Mr. Secretary, day 14, nearly 5 months ago, you stated that Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and, quote, made combat ineffective. That was on day 14 of the war. Was that an accurate statement?
They didn't have a Navy any longer. It was completely sunk. Their missiles were buried underneath a lot of their underground facilities, and their defense industrial base has been almost completely destroyed. So as far as
almost completely destroyed, yet somehow capable of continuing to wage the war. Somehow. Remember the war before this war? Remember the 12-day war? Remember that war? Yeah, that was the one where we completely obliterated their nuclear program. Just like we completely obliterated their military. Almost.
Military assessment of Iran's facilities and their defense industrial base has been almost completely destroyed. So as far as a military assessment of Iran's capabilities, it didn't mean by any stretch of the imagination absolute zero, but their capabilities
Mr. Secretary,
at the lowest level
you
they've been in a
stated
very
that
long time.
on day 14 of this conflict, in the second week of the conflict, you stated that Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and, quote, made combat ineffective. Was that an accurate statement? Yes or no?
Iran's ability to challenge the United States of America at the level at which we're capable of.
That's not what I asked you, Mr. Secretary. You said on day...
Iran never had the ability to challenge the United States of America in an open war. Iran had the ability, as it always has, and still does, to wage practically a reverse siege, where they literally just close the Strait of Hormuz. They have the Houthis now bombing the Red Sea to stop people from going around the Hormuz Strait, which is open. It's open, but people are still trying to go around the Hormuz Strait because, you know, that's what you do when the Hormuz Strait is open. You go around it. All of the different things that countries are doing, like Iraq, doing the truck transports and taking it around, the pipelines that are going through, Saudi Arabia, the ones that the people in Qatar are using. All of those are still being bombed. They're still being held up, and they're not working efficiently. There is practically no traffic going through the Strait of Hormuz that is not being attacked. Yeah, they did have the ability to continue to fight, and they still do have a military, and they never had the ability to fight an open war with America. That's why we didn't have an open war with them. We started this, and we're in this position because we fucked this up.
14, Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and, quote, made combat ineffective. Yes or no, was that an accurate statement?
What the American military has done to the Iranian military is a historic military defeat,
answer the
and
question
they're ineffective
under oath?
in that context.
3 weeks.
He's right. It is a historic military defeat. It's a historic failure. There is no other country that would have done this dumb shit.
Later, you declared victory. That was now nearly 4 months ago. 3 weeks after you'd already said Iran's military was destroyed and combat ineffective, you said, quote, Operation Epic Fury was a historic and overwhelming victory. You said Iran's military had been rendered, quote, combat ineffective for years to come. And you stated we had, quote,
or like a month and a half. Same difference.
Quote, achieved every single objective. Were those accurate statements?
It certainly was, on behalf of the men and women in uniform, a historic military victory over Iran.
Had Iran...
Bro, it can't be a victory if you're still fighting the war. Even George Bush Jr., at least, you know, he went down to Kinko's, all right, and had himself a mission accomplished banner printed. At least he had a banner. Mission accomplished. Right? And then he just got on the aircraft carrier and got the fuck out, right? Like, he was like, good enough. Like, George Bush Jr. had a more solid exit plan. He was like, look, we're going to get on the boat. We're going to unfurl the banner. I'm going to say mission accomplished. We're going to like shotgun a Budweiser, fucking break a champagne bottle on the bow, maybe have a barbecue. And then we're going to roll back. And we're just going to act like all the shit we did in Iraq didn't happen. Okay? This was victory. Like they didn't leave. You can't have victory while you're still in the war. That's not how wars work. That's also not how excursions work. Because I know we're not calling this a war. We're calling this as like a field trip. It's an excursion. You can't have a victory but still be fighting the war. You can win battles. You could have came out and said like, yo, we fought a battle and we won that battle. And, the war isn't over, but we're doing really well. You could use real, truthful, honest words. But instead, he hired a Fox News contributor to be the Department of Defense, the Secretary of Defense. And this is what you get. This is why he hired him, because he knew that he needed somebody that would spin his bullshit, all of his failures. He needs the human printer to follow him around and print out positive stories about him. He needs a Fox News host to come out and say he won a war that he has now said that he has won like 37 times now. This is the dumbest timeline.
Military been rendered, quote, combat ineffective for years to come. That was a statement that you made 4 months ago.
They had 160 naval vessels
You need
in
to
the
answer
Blue
the
Water
questions,
Navy,
Mr.
and they're gone.
Secretary.
Their Air Force is completely combat ineffective, and they don't have a defense industrial base. So describe to me a country that doesn't have an Air Force, a Navy, or a defense industrial base, and I will describe to you...
They didn't even have a fucking Air Force before we got there. What did we take out, 150 planes? Congrats! Sweet Jesus. We're getting our asses handed to us by like a fucking country that is buying drones off Temu.
Country that does not have an effective military.
Secretary, you stated,
it can lob missiles.
Mr. Secretary, you stated missiles, 4 months ago.
John's like, bro, can you shut the fuck up and answer the question?
That Iran's military had been rendered, quote, combat ineffective for years to come. Has Iran's military been, for the last 4 months, combat ineffective?
It's been set back not just years.
Look at him get mad. He's getting so mad. Oh. Thank God there's at least a couple of people that are like straight up calling this shit out. Because, bro, you can't say that they are combat ineffective and then be like, so we're fighting them again. Like, that would mean that they're back to being combat effective. That would definitely not be combat ineffective. Because if they're combat ineffective, you just roll up on them and be like, so anyways, you guys have no military left. We're taking this shit. And that's not what they're doing. Because they can't do that. Because they're still combat effective.
Been for the last 4 months combat ineffective.
It's been set back not just years, but likely decades.
You stated we had, quote,
build at the level it did before, and not even close. It doesn't mean it doesn't have capabilities.
Mr. Secretary, you stated we had, quote, achieved every single objective.
He said, we have a 100% achievement rate. We're going for 110. Brother, if you have achieved all the objectives, that's when you hang the mission accomplished banner. That's when you get on the aircraft carrier and fucking roll back to America. Once you have 100% of your objectives achieved, you don't go back in.
Was that an accurate statement 4 months ago?
The main objective of this was to ensure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. Their main sites were obliterated.
Which, by the way, we did that in the first war, the 12-day war. We obliterated their nuclear stuff. That was 100% accomplished as well. That's why we went back again, was because we had 100% accomplished it before, and then we 100% accomplished it again, and now we're going to 100%, which is 300%, which is that's beyond actually 100%. I don't know if you guys can do math.
Watching over them, and we're holding that issue. If they don't give them up at the table, there's other ways we can take them away.
Early in the conflict
Iran will
on
never
day
have a
3,
nuclear
Mr.
weapon.
Secretary, early in the conflict, day 3, you said one of those core objectives was to, quote, destroy the missile threat. And as you restated on day 5, to, quote, obliterate Iran's missiles and drones. Those were clearly and repeatedly stated core objectives of the campaign, which 4 months ago you declared had been completed victoriously with every single objective achieved. Were those objectives achieved 4 months ago?
No one ever stated that every single missile was gone. Ultimately, combat ineffective means they're not able to dig them out of their UGFs and shoot
Had
at
the
us.
missile
It
threat
doesn't mean they
been
don't have
defeated
underground
4 months
facilities
ago?
where they put missiles in them and hold on to.
He's like, look, I was talking about 100% of the stuff above the ground. Apparently, Iranians have shovels. We had no idea. We had no idea. The Iranians, apparently, they have tractors and shovels and stuff, and they unburied the stuff that we buried. So we had no idea they had those kind of capabilities. We didn't know that their military was advanced enough to dig things out. But now we know that. Now we know that. This is the part where he just slaps the microphone, jumps up, and runs the fuck out, right? Like this, that's the only, like at this point, the only appropriate action that Pete Hegseth can take is to knock the table over, like flip the table, and then make a run for the door. That's the only appropriate reaction you have at this point.
Them because they're the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. So we never expected they would stop having capabilities to shoot. The question is at scale against an opponent like the United States of America, which went toe-to-toe with them and Iran couldn't.
You stated on March 8th, day 9 of the war on 60 Minutes, you assured the American people of Iranian surrender. Does that remain your prediction?
Ultimately, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon to threaten the United States of America. That has been the objective, and it remains so.
He's like, look, they weren't going to have one before this, so I'm going to just go ahead and say that they're not. But as far as surrender goes, it seems as though they're not real big on surrender. He can't answer that question, dude. He can't answer it. He can't answer it, bro. He can't even answer that. Are the Iranians, which legitimately America has the largest, most well-financed, most technologically advanced military in the world, hands down. It doesn't matter whether you're left, you're right, you're communist, you're progressive, you're libertarian, you're MAGA, whatever it is. The Americans have the biggest, most well-financed, most technologically advanced military in the world. And we are losing to Iran, who I think they had like 150 planes. Yep.
So just to review, you will not answer whether your statement made on the 14th day of the war that Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and made combat ineffective was a truthful statement to the American people as you sit here and ask for tens of billions more for the conflict.
Senator's time has
Had a
expired.
historic and effective military campaign against the largest state sponsor of terrorism.
Won't answer the question.
Never get a
Meanwhile, the Houthis are literally just now getting back to bombing the Red Sea. We've done nothing. Iran just bombed Jordan. And was it 100 American soldiers were injured in attack on, was it in Iraq? Or was that in Jordan? That might have been the one in Jordan. 100 American soldiers, was it 4 more had died? This is a absolute embarrassment. It's a shit show. It's a war that never should have happened. Nobody, not a single president, decided to do something this stupid. And our presidents have done incredibly stupid things, like getting involved in Vietnam, getting involved in the war in Afghanistan. Our presidents have a history of choosing to do the dumbest shit possible. And yet even they were like, nope, not going to do that. It took a special kind of stupid, a president that can be manipulated through selling cryptocurrency or buying his cryptocurrency, whatever Bibi decided to do for him. Hold back the PP tapes, okay? Or buy his cryptocurrency, whatever he did. He found the one moron that would attack Iran. It's going to go down in history as the biggest failure of a United States president that has ever happened, unless, of course, Donald Trump just ends up burning the entire country down, and then maybe that one will be, one above. It'll be number 2. it'll be 1A. 1A, 1B, right? There's definitely a chance. 1A, 1B. What's happening, Mountain Bike Fan? Oh, they're 100% hiding the numbers. I do give the dumbass listening to Evil Ninja hot no for getting us into this big. Yeah, you have to. I mean, not that he was hard to manipulate. Yeah, I mean, Trump is both the most easy person to manipulate and the least easy person to control. It's a crazy statement. He is both the easiest person to manipulate because you just go up to him and you just go, I got money, or you're a great guy, or here's a award, and he'll do whatever you want to do. It's just everything that he does after that you're like, oh shit. Like, you can point him in the correct direction, but he just kind of goes and does his own thing once that happens. He is the exact opposite of what you want leading anything. You don't want Donald Trump leading a Wendy's, much less the United States of America. It's absolutely insane. What do we got here? Speaking of, dude, which one should we watch? Let's watch this one. Penguin Zero. Yeah, all you have to do is compliment his stupid gold decorations. Sarah, 100%. Exactly. Yeah, he's like Redonk. It's like what's it like? Like you can wind him up. It's like one of those wind up toys, right? You can wind him up and you can just set him out, but you have no idea where that fucker's going. He's in Iran. He's in Cuba. He's in Greenland. Back to Canada. Somebody needs to get his ass on Adderall. Does Nino have some dirt, Epstein files perhaps to use against? I don't even know about that anymore. Like I was with that at first. I was like, I think that, maybe he's got some Epstein stuff on him. Like the Mossad has some Epstein stuff on him. But I mean, at this point, I've said this before, I don't think that Trump is even concerned anymore. The people that follow Donald Trump have 1000% shown that there is nothing that you can do or you can say or you can show them that is going to make them stop supporting Donald Trump. We just read that story where, it said that 30% of people still support Donald Trump, right? I think that that's about as low as it's going to go. I think there are 30% of the American electorate that has became a part of the cult, as somebody said earlier, a part of the cult, that they're sunk cost fallacy at this point. They've lost family, they've lost friends, they've lost jobs, they've lost their ability to be surrounded by their coworkers without their coworkers despising them. They've got tattoos, they've got merchandise, they've got their truck wrapped in Donald Trump pictures, all of this stuff. You've got MAGA rappers that they're dog shit rappers, but they've made money off of being a Trump supporter. There is nowhere for them to go. You've got influencers that have 100% tied themselves to Trump and supporting Trump. I mean, you do see people like Laura Loomer now. You see people like Tucker Carlson that are trying to make the pivot out of being 100% Trump to being something different because the rats feel the ship is sinking. But at the end of the day, that 30% is never going to go away from Trump. I think that they're going to go down with the ship. I think that they're always going to be in denial. They're going to live really, really sad lives. So I actually don't believe the Epstein stuff as far as being a tool that's being used against Trump, because I think that he well knows now that if somebody puts out straight up videos of him doing shit, they're just going to be like, it's AI. Fake news. Like I think people will not. That 30% is his cult. I think that's true. What's up, LB? I just saw you the other day. Or this morning. I think I saw you comment on one of my things. What's happening, LB? Why doesn't Trump send his son-in-law Kushner and his son, the lazy good for nothing, into battle to see if they truly love and die for the country? Because we know why. That's a rhetorical question, right? That's a rhetorical question. I don't even need to answer that because we all know the answer to that. At the end of the day, this isn't even something that's particularly Trump. It's obvious that this is the elites. Thank God, I don't think Peter Thiel has any children. But if Elon Musk isn't sending his kids, not his kids would go because his kids are like, "Fuck you, I hate you." But Elon Musk isn't sending his kids. Peter Thiel isn't going to send his if he had kids. None of these oligarchs have children that are joining these armies. Like we give Britain, we give the UK shit, right? But Harry was in the military, right? Like their children join the military. They actually, like, we give them shit. And yet this is the saddest part of what America is becoming right now, is that we used to have like firm ground to stand on when it came to like some of our accomplishments, some of what was American exceptionalism for a little bit. Like, we were able to be like, no, we have accomplished things. And, California is the fourth, strongest economy in the world as a state. New York City is like the 8th or 9th strongest economy in the world as a city. We had these things that, mind you, there's always the caveats of, we also have, we're 25th in happiness and no universal health care. But there were things that we could stand on and be like, but we've done some pretty cool shit, right? And it's just gotten so much worse and more embarrassing and sadder. And I do believe that they're hiding the numbers now. I think that even when we look at the 3.5% CPI that we just saw in June, the news is touting it as the largest drop in CPI in like 3 decades. And it's like, yeah, because it was already 4%. That's like if we went back to COVID and we said, well, Biden dropped inflation from like 16% to 2.4%, that's obviously one of the largest drops in inflation in the history of the world. But they don't say that, right? They say Biden had, 60% inflation, right? Mind you, that came from Donald Trump, and COVID, but that's how they talk about it. Now they're talking about about inflation, CPI, dropping 0.4%, the largest drop in like at least 5 years. It's like, yeah, but it's still 3.5%. Real wages are still flat with inflation. That means that people are losing money. PPI, it dropped 0.6%. Like, yeah, because it's elevated. Like, that's like saying that retail sales are up this year. Of course they're up. Inflation has increased the percentage, or increased by percentage, which means that cost has increased by percentage, which means that retailers are charging more money for products, which means, yes, retail sales are going to be higher. When you strip out inflation, it isn't a win. You are getting less product for more money. When you start, bringing into the whole equation things like shrinkflation, and the fact that now you're getting a 2-ounce box when you're buying a 5-ounce box before, and you're paying the same amount of money, like they're hiding the numbers. Even when we talk about unemployment numbers being at a low, like you have to take into account certain things that have to do with the unemployment numbers that are making those numbers look that way. And then when we talk about CPI before Trump was president, we were already stripping the CPI numbers to make them look better, right? We were taking money, defunding money out of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We were taking funding out of it, so there was less employees, which means that there was less information being gathered. And then when Trump took office, we started deleting large cities out of the CPI. Taking huge cities and saying, we don't want you to report the numbers anymore for CPI. And I'm all for doing this in a better, more efficient, more technological way than we were doing it before. But what we're doing now isn't trying to do it in a more efficient manner. What we're doing now is just making up shit. So even when you say that we're down to 3.5% CPI, that's probably not even true. Because we're not even gathering the information at the rate that we were gathering it just 2 years ago. Not even having the amount of information that we had 2 years ago. We're at this point, you could literally just throw a fucking dart at a dartboard filled with numbers and just be like, it was 6% this week, 2% last week, huge drop, 4%, most in history. It's all made up. They're making up numbers, and they're not disguising it. You can go and look it up. If you don't believe me, go look and see how many cities have been gotten rid of since Trump has become the president of the United States for the Bureau of Labor Statistics and CPI information. It's that easy. I wanted to watch this because obviously you guys know I did the video on the Trump phone, where they took the Trump phone apart, and of course the first thing they opened was it said it was made in the Philippines. And we covered this also when they changed the information on the website about how it was made in the USA and how they hadn't shipped anybody their phones and all of that stuff. Oh, what's happening, Manny? So one of my favorite dudes. I love Penguin Zero. I really like him. I mean, South Park Jesus. I do think that he's going to need to get Asmongold banned. There can only be one. And Asmongold is a Temu Penguin Zero. We all know that. We have Penguin Zero, and he bought the Trump phone, and I wanted to watch this because apparently he's one of the only people that have actually gotten it. And I wanted to see it. This is the unboxing. I guess it's no quotations. The actually unboxing of the phone that's made in the USA. So we're gonna watch this real quick. We're gonna listen to Penguin Zero because yeah, exactly. Penguin Zero is hilarious. Charlie is his name. Moist Critical. So many names. Right?
Title's not clickbait. It's actually here. The Trump mobile device. It's finally arrived. This thing must have went around the world 6 times and back, but it finally made it into my lap. Genuinely, I started to lose hope.
Okay, there is snot coming out of his nose.
That it was going to arrive, and then it actually never came through Trump Mobile. Big spoilers. The T1 device that I pre-ordered, that fucking thing fell into the back rooms, I guess. That order is never being fulfilled, I don't think. This one actually was a gift from a happy Trump Mobile customer who felt bad for me, so they had...
Oh my god. So he never got his phone. He got this given to him by somebody else. Now that's some good customer service right there.
Had their fun with it. That was big time acting, by the way. I actually got tears and a ton of snot out. And now
he did a good job. If you guys don't know, Charlie was in the Hunger Games. Okay, all right. Charlie's legit a real amazing actor. Yeah. So what the scene didn't get included in the movie? Okay, that's not important. And if you bring that up, you're a hater. Okay, Charlie was in the Hunger Games, and I don't care who says that scene wasn't included. You're a hater.
I can't stop. I opened the floodgates and now it won't stop. Wow. And to think that I haven't been recruited to a blockbuster film since the Hunger Games, huh? What a tragedy. But anyway, this is a real Trump mobile device. It's not empty. I can tell it's not empty. But I refuse to open the sarcophagus.
But is it filled with rocks, though? It could be filled with rocks.
I guess yet. Not because I'm afraid of like a mummy's curse or anything, but because I'm saving it to experience it with my friends. A gift is best experienced with others. The ones that you cherish the most. Family and friends.
Oh, Jesus.
I was acting so hard my body is confused on the emotions to feel. But yeah, as I said, this isn't my T1 device, the one that I put the 100 clam deposit on to reserve. This isn't Charles White's.
It's probably still in Philippines. It's probably still being pieced together in the Philippines right now. There's a fucking some poor small child working in a sweatshop at a Trump mobile warehouse that's currently like, I can't put this together. This is a piece of dog shit.
T-Mobile device. This came from someone who already used it, rode hard, put away wet, and then offered to send it to me. And well, I gotta tell you, sports fans, I've never been so happy. The Grinch's heart.
I don't think I ever want to hear somebody ever say that again, explaining a Trump product. Rode hard and put away wet. I don't think I need... I just don't need that visual. I'm so good on that. Oh my god.
This came from someone who already used it, rode hard, put away wet, and then offered to send it to me. And well, I gotta tell you, sports fans, I've never been so happy. The Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes today.
Dude, who buys a phone and then just gives it to somebody else? That's how shitty this product is. That's how shitty this product is. Like, I bought this, but here you go. You can have it.
So yeah, big shout out Quinn from Snazzy Labs and Linus Tech Tips for putting this puppy in my lap here.
Okay.
Because I guess mine's just never coming. I suppose I'm just Squidward in the window watching SpongeBob and Patrick have.
Dude, they sent it to like 10 people, and they're like, "See, we shipped it out. We're good."
His tech tips for putting this puppy in my lap here, because I guess mine's just never coming. I suppose I'm just Squidward in the window watching SpongeBob and Patrick have fun with their Trump mobile devices while I was never going to get one. That was the plan, I suppose. But put this in your pipe and smoke it, Trump mobile. I did get one, and I can't wait to crack.
Don't you think if you're Trump, if you're part of the Trump team, this is how poorly ran everything in the Trump administration is. If you had a guy who had 17, right? Does Penguin Zero have 17 million subscribers? 18. Sorry. I'm lowballing him. 18.2 million subscribers. One of the, bigger dudes on YouTube. I mean, sure, he's not Mr. Beast, right? But one of the bigger guns on YouTube. If you have him trying to get a hold of your phone, don't you think that you would put in like a lot of effort to make sure you got it? I mean, good or bad, right? Because if he's going to say good things about it, you definitely want everybody to hear him say he has 18 million followers, get to watch the video, and you get good press from it, right? But even bad, just the fact that he's not getting his phone, that means all the people that follow him know how bad your customer service is. So even if you're just like, and I don't think that many Trump supporters are watching Charlie here, because Charlie is a sensible human being and Trump supporters live in La La Land. But if there are some that are on the fence that like Charlie, that like Trump, as weird as that sounds, they would be like, I'm not going to buy this phone, because if this dude can't get it, I'm definitely not getting it. This just is like the epitome of everything that Donald Trump does in his administration. Everything is poorly run. They don't give a shit about you. They don't care who you are or what you do. They only care if you give them their money. Once you've given them their money, they could give a fuck less about you.
Crack it open, break the seal on it. Well, the seal's broken. You can see that. The whole ass is prolapsing here, but I don't want to gaze upon its beauty yet. It's like the Ark of the Covenant to me. It's going to fucking melt my flesh the second I look at it. So like I said, I do want to save this for a bigger video, like actually doing it justice to get into the nitty gritty. And I know a bunch of other YouTubers have already done that, far smarter than me, but I want to recruit someone even smarter than them. I'm going to try and find like fucking John Telephone, someone who knows telecommunication.
My daughter says John person all the time. Oh my God.
Tech better than anyone else on the planet, and I want to put this through the ringer. And then I want to fondle it and do all kinds of stuff to it and see how it responds. I don't know. Point is, I want to do something bigger with it than just like unbox it and shit. But I did want to at least let you guys know that I did get it, except Trump Mobile never sent it to me. I still have not received any contact from Trump Mobile on the whereabouts of my device. What the fuck, man? There was, however, one dumb asshole out there that tried to scam me, pretending to be Trump Mobile, telling me that my device was ready to ship. But there was a litany of spelling and grammar mistakes in there, which I guess maybe that could still be Trump Mobile, because I bet half the team's fucking illiterate, but I still felt it was sketchy enough to not respond. It didn't seem official.
Trump Mobile is so bad that when a scammer gets a hold of you, you're like, this actually might be Trump Mobile. Oh, that's terrible.
But that's the only semblance of contact I've had with anything even loosely adjacent to Trump Mobile. I must have put in 10 total calls with their customer service. I think I know the reps better than their own families know them at this point. I was a frequent flyer there with the HQ's hotline there. Never got an iota of anything helpful in terms of information. Do you remember in like episode 3 of this journey, one of the customer service reps told me that I'd be hearing a follow-up in like a month or so about my Trump Mobile device and shipping it and getting everything sorted out that way? Well, that didn't happen. That was a fucking lie. Everything that could go wrong with a business, I feel like, is wrong with Trump Mobile. Like, from the product, from everything I've seen about it, and I've been trying my best not to spoil it, but I have caught little glimpses of spoilers there with like some of the specs. But I am again trying my best to refrain from.
Dude, if he hasn't seen it yet, good luck. That phone is horrible. We watched them take it apart, and yeah, it says made in Philippines in the middle. Yeah, it's like an HTC. It's a terrible phone. And of course, Trump supporters spent a bunch of money. But even then, it seems like they said that they completely exaggerated the number of people that had purchased it. It's probably just another shell company. The shoes, the phones, everything. It's probably just some mask, some shell for them to launder money. I mean, no one probably bought the phone except for poor Charlie. Poor Charlie, and then people that are taking it apart. Like, we're all taking it apart and like making fun of how bad this phone is and how dog shit everything is and how it's not worth the money. And the reality is China's just buying like 100,000 phones through this this phone company. Really, it's just cryptocurrency going to Donald Trump, so that way they can invade Taiwan and America doesn't interfere, right? Like, that's really what it is. Let's be honest.
From seeing too much because I want to be oohed and awed and surprised and experience it, as a virgin here, a Trump mobile virgin. But from what I've seen, just everything about this is fucking trash. It was like a year past deadline, and they kept lying and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and then for a little while it looked like it didn't even exist and would never exist, and then they eventually, I guess, relented and just made something to push out there. Like, I don't know, man. I can confidently say I've never...
Yeah, that's really what it is. I mean, like I said, it's probably a shell company. They probably didn't expect people to really buy it. They probably panicked when people started calling them out. There was that news story that came out talking about the fact that they think that all these people have been scammed. Like, immediately, Trump Mobile came out on their website, changed the language, saying that it was made in the USA, told everybody that, no, they're actually shipping them out, like, right away. Most likely, they just went and, wished a bunch of HTCs, bought that shit, and then just, slapped, some spray paint on the back with a big T, and then just shipped them out to a couple people, so that way a couple people would be like, oh no, what are you talking about? You guys are liars. Look, I got one right here in my hands. I mean, even like the shoes, right? Like, every time that one of these products gets, released by Donald Trump, there's always a problem getting it. It's always inferior quality. It's like, these are people that were getting tricked by Fingerhut, 20 years ago. So they don't have to worry about the fact that these people are getting this product, and they're the 30% that still follow Donald Trump. Now there's a Trump coin, right? Now there's a Trump coin that's coming out, and I believe it's 75 or maybe it's even 90% copper. The Trump gold coin is like 9/10 copper. And they have to tell you that. What's his name? The guy from Pawn Stars that's also a Trump cult member. He came out and was like, well, no, it's not actually gold. It's gold plated. It's like 90% copper. They'll buy that shit too, knowing that it's copper, and then they'll tell everybody it's gold.
Never had a worse experience trying to spend my money on something and purchase something.
Yeah, that's also a chance, man.
Experience. Just a fucking full-blown headache, top to bottom. And if not for the generosity of other people who miraculously did receive it, I still would just be here with my dick in my hand and nothing to show for it, down $100 on the imaginary Trump mobile device that I picture in my head. Like, I still would have nothing. And I wonder if that'll ever change. I wonder if they will ever actually ship me something. I'm so curious. Or send me an email. Because the whole thing is that I need to finish paying for it. I still haven't finished putting down the rest of the money because I still haven't received my my follow-up email to do so.
They just took us $50 and they're like, good enough. We don't even need the second 50. Imagine if the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau still existed. Imagine if Lena Khan was still part of an administration. We wouldn't be having these problems. This is what people voted for. I just want everybody to know that. I know that, like I said, I know that he only has a 30% approval rating. So some of you fuckers were people that were like, can't vote for Kamala, can't vote for her. This is what you deserve. I hope you fucking bought a Trump phone. I hope that you bought the entire line, hook, line, and sinker. I hope, like, you spent money on Trump phones and you bought SpaceX stock, and I hope you buy his gold coin. I wish all the worst for you. I just want you to know that. If you're out there and you're like, can't vote for Kamala, and you voted for Trump, I hope that you bought the sneakers, I hope that you own all the bullshit, so that way when you die, we can correctly identify which morons it was that got us into this.
So, and there's nothing for me to follow to do it. It's just so
Lena
garbage.
Conley is amazing.
But anyway, doesn't matter now.
To
Let's not dwell on the negatives. We have gold. We have the Tesseract. So, probably next week sometime, I'll do a bigger video with this. Feel free to comment and let me know all kinds of fun little activities to try it and test to put it through. I want to make it as thorough as possible. This shit might be a fucking 4-hour.
What do you want? I could bet it can't even run Candy Crush. That thing is just there literally to listen to the things that you say. The Trump supporters probably just bought a listening device. They're like, I don't want to give my information over to the government, so I bought this phone from the President of the United States that has a recording device on it.
Mega documentary on the Trump mobile device. Just
feel
free to go hog wild with ideas and spitballing stuff, and maybe we'll do some of that. Oh, holy Toledo. One other thing I forgot to mention when going through this montage of misery with the Trump mobile, their fucking data breach.
Oh, yeah, the data breach. I'm telling you, it was all just a scam to get people's information, dude. I'm telling you, like, this is all fake from the start. This motherfucker had a data breach for all of the people that had bought the phone, all of their information, their credit card information, all that stuff. Wasn't it Voidzilla? It's Coffeezilla that made a video on that. I'm telling you right now, this shit is a scam. They wanted your information. They sold your information. We all know in the gig economy, that's what's worth money, right? They sold you a T-Mo phone with a speaker and a recorder in it. Charlie's in so much trouble right now. Charlie's in so much trouble.
They had a full-blown data breach along the way. Just huge security boo-boo. Like, actually, I mean it. I think everything that could go wrong with a product went wrong with this. And the experience couldn't have been worse with it. That being said, what could one little peak hurt? I've got to know. Like, what are the odds that they put like a brick in here just
That's
to
what
really
I'm saying.
fuck
It might
me,
be
huh?
rocks, dude.
We've got to confirm.
Yeah, you gotta look at it.
Proof
Come
of
on,
life
bud.
here. We have to know if it's actually in
This is
here.
like the night before Christmas.
Cuddled on up.
Come on, let's just take a look. Let's take a look. Don't break it. It's probably pre-broken.
It's in there.
Okay.
It's there.
All right.
I refuse to look any further. I can see it sleeping peacefully. I can see that it's resting comfortably.
Brother, that shit's activated.
I now know it's here, without a doubt. Looks to be in pristine condition. Just waiting for me. Well, don't worry, princess. Very soon,
it's
we'll be able to get to know each other. Anyway, I'll stop yapping about it. I'm very happy to have it, and yeah, let me know if you have any cool ideas for ways to test it and things to do with it. It's a fucking phone, but still, like, within reason, things to do with it. I can't make a fucking balloon animal out of it or anything. Anyway, that's really about it. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. This is the dumbest timeline. It's seriously the dumbest timeline. I'm telling you this right now. Like, this shit is not idiocracy. What is, right? Like, if this isn't what leads us to idiocracy, what is? Like, I'm scared. I am so scared. I just had this pop up on screen. I want to show you guys this. You guys know the lady from the Unnecessary Conversation, Haley? This, as you guys know, Haley recently posted about 4th of July, right? Like that she wasn't celebrating 4th of July on her Hive Bakery Facebook page, and it went big, and Fox News covered it, and the Dallas News covered it. They're in Texas, and now they've had lines out the door of their bakery for God only knows how long now. They're like, go woke, make $1 billion fucking dollars, so they have people lining up for hours and buying all their stuff, and they were pretty successful before this. I guess they won 2 Food Network show awards. So they're already pretty successful, but after the backlash from MAGA, now they've had lines down the block for days now, and are selling out of all their merchandise, all their products, all that stuff. So it's amazing. But just recently, actually, she just posted from her Hive Bakery account. It says, "Someone keyed my car today in the back lot at the Parker Square where Hive is located, calling me a slut and a whore. This is the world we live in. This is someone's neighbor here in Flower Mound. He also called my parents and brother from the Necessary Conversation pod and left voicemails wishing for my parents to die and calling my mom a slut and a whore. I filed a police report and am waiting a response. I've notified management and they're looking for video footage. If you were at Parker Square today between 8 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. and saw anything suspicious in the back parking lot, please let me know. This person had to stalk me for a day or two to know what car I drive, to know what time I get to work. I have a voice and I'm going to keep using it." And, you know, good on her. Good on her. You know, like, she stands on business, you know, and that's a tough lady right there. And the crazy thing is obviously calling the dad, who is a Trump supporter, and attacking him. Like, that just goes to show you that the cult eats itself. Yeah, how Christian, right, Manny? How Christian. These are really good people, you know, attacking a lady for using her First Amendment right to say that she didn't want to celebrate 4th of July. These are people that before all of this, remember, before when Biden was president, remember, the left was going to do all these things. They're going to take away your right to free speech. He's going to use his ability to take down content that he doesn't like, and so the FCC is doing that now. They're the biggest hypocrites in the world, and I hope that this person gets caught on camera, and I hope that Haley here prosecutes this person to the fullest extent of the law, and I hope that she gets herself a nice new paint job for her car too. So, you text me something that I may want to cover. Just a heads up, my phone is not doing great. And I have not purchased a new phone because I am a cheap person. But I should probably take my own advice that I gave Redonk earlier and probably just buy a phone before they get more expensive. Probably should do that. I will take a look at it. But my phone is it glitches in and out, and the screen is all blue now. Anybody fixes phones, let me know what's up with that. Got stalked, and these fuckers act like they ran me out. Those same fucks failed and didn't graduate. Exactly. These are terrible people, and no one should ever feel bad for them when bad shit happens to them. You found your other phone after months. Good job. I found a phone the other day, but it was like all cracked. It was totally jacked. I was like, oh, no, can't use that one. The GOP just merged our government with Israel. You're talking about, what is it, 29 ADD or 219 ADD? You just got a new phone? Good job, Redonk. Like I said, buy your technology now. This is not financial advice. Buy your technology now before it gets 3 times as expensive over the next 4 years. Oh, I know about the agreements with Israel to share technology and all that stuff. I'm well aware of all of that stuff. As far as covering it goes, sometimes on this channel I cover more I guess you'd say eccentric topics, because most of my videos and stuff get lost when it comes to bigger topics. When I know other people are covering all that stuff, I generally let Adam Mockler or freaking Keith Edwards or Jack Kocher, all these people that have clickbait ass titles. I generally don't try to compete with those guys, because those guys, anytime that my videos come up in the same algorithm as theirs, they're never going to get clicked. No one's ever going to watch it. It seems like a waste of my time. But I will say, obviously, that I think that's a really bad thing. I don't think that sharing anything with Israel is a good idea. Yeah, Kyle Kalinske as well. I think that we should be pulling back from our relationship with Israel, and we should be getting out of the Iranian war. I think that America should be supporting, people like Ukraine, because we have actual interests in that war that do matter. And we made a promise when Ukraine gave over their nuclear weapons. Yes, it was only a verbal promise, but it was a promise that we would, step up if Russia attacked them. I think that we have, responsibilities there. I think that actually in the war in Israel and Gaza, we should be giving Israel absolutely zero help. They're big boys. They want to go to war with Israel. They want to fight the Houthis and Hezbollah and all these people. Then go for it, brother. Go ahead. Go on out there. Y'all are big boys. Go handle that shit. You don't need our help. That's how I feel about that. So obviously I'm against. And I saw today, I want to say it was 6 Democrats. 6 Democrats in the House voted to pass it into the Senate. So find out who those 6 Democrats are, and make sure to when it comes time to primary those motherfuckers, primary their ass. That's what has to happen. Okay, looking at my shiny dome is more fun. Thanks. It's not too shiny right now. It's got a little bit of hair. It's time to get the fuck out of Israel. All they want to do. They're also, it's funny that we talk about Iranians as being like religious extremists, but when you have a country that we're allied with that also is doing shit that's religious extremism, we're like, well, that's like cool religious extremism though. Like, can we just get out of any type of religious war at all? How about that? How about when people start talking about the end of the world and raptures and biblical bullshit? How about we just, that's our exit cue? How about when somebody starts talking that insanity, we go, you know what? This seems like a really crazy idea, and we're just going to go ahead and get the fuck out of here. That's what I think. I think that's pretty common sense shit, in my opinion. Thank you, Manny. Thank you. And yeah, and like I said, find out who those 6 were. I had it pulled up earlier. I don't now, and I can't push buttons. Pamela will tell you. If I push buttons, this stream will go to absolute shit. But find out who those 6 Democrats in the House who voted for that shit were, and primary their ass. And you know what's funny? You've got people on the left right now, establishment Democrats on the left. They're really, really scared of DSA candidates, right? And look, I'm not saying that everybody in the DSA is a good candidate. Obviously, I've said this before. There are, good people and bad people in every single group of people. So obviously there's people in the DSA that I'm not a fan of. But you've got these people on the left that are super scared of DSA candidates. And you take a look at what's going on with Zohran Mamdani over there, and you look at the fact that, he's following through with a lot of things. One of the things that currently he's came out and said he can't do is follow through with arresting Benjamin Netanyahu with the ICC warrant, because apparently we don't participate in that. And we'll watch a minute here, watch a video right here in a second about him talking about it, where he does call Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal, and he just stand on business on that. I wish he would follow through with his threat to arrest Bibi, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And at least he's straight up saying what he's doing. And what I'm saying about the DSA candidates is like, if you take a look at how Zohran Mamdani became the mayor of New York, 60,000, I believe, was the number of MAGA, America First MAGA Republicans voted for Zohran Mamdani. And the reason they did is because whether these people like it or not, or know it or not, they want socialist policies. They do. They want healthcare. It doesn't happen until the moment that their wife gets breast cancer, right? The moment that their wife gets breast cancer and they are about to lose their house, all of a sudden they become very socialist. The moment that, it's time to retire and they want their Social Security and they bump up the age to the next age bracket and they can't retire, all of a sudden they're very socialist. When they want to call the police, or when they need the fire put out near their house, or, when their son wants to join the military, all of a sudden they're very socialist. People don't understand. I said this on the last stream, and I'm going to say this again. I was just watching this guy talk about the other day, because apparently my algorithm hears me say these things and then shows me these videos. At the end of the day, whether you know it or not, your favorite things about living in this country are socialist. If you don't like walking down the street and getting robbed by a poor person, then you like social safety nets. Because what happens when you take away social safety nets from impoverished people? Impoverished people come and take your shit. I grew up in those areas. I know exactly what they do. And if you think that like, oh, well, you know, I own guns, I said this earlier. If somebody wants your shit, they'll find a way to take your shit. What you want is you want people taken care of well enough in this country that they don't want to. If you don't like homeless people on the street, then you like social safety nets. Because without social safety nets, if you think that the homeless problem is bad now, it would get a lot fucking worse. If you think that crime is bad now, if you say, oh, well, I go to Newark, in Newark, you know, it's, you know, I don't know if they are still, but it was carjacking capital of the country, probably of the world. If you think it's bad now, it's going to get a lot fucking worse when you take away social safety nets. If you don't think that you like socialist policies, then you don't know the effect that they have on this country. I know that I like socialist policies because I grew up poor in California. I grew up homeless. I grew up eating out of trash cans. If it wasn't for socialist policies like food stamps, like welfare, like helping me find jobs, I used job fairs and stuff like that that were funded by the state, then I would not be where I am today. And I say this a lot. I was saying this the other day about learning about some of the things that I'm more progressive about nowadays, and I may have had more conservative opinions of in the past. The reason that I know those things is because I've had experiences with them. You like socialist policies, and those MAGA Republicans, yes, you do. Those MAGA Republicans in New York actually smartened up and were like, you know what? This guy talks a lot of sense. So for those Democrats, that was a long rant, that voted, that think that they can't get primaried by people that run on DSA topics or DSA policies, you are going to fuck around and you are going to find out. And your name is on the voter roll as a yay for shit that people 100%, not just on the left are against, but many people on the right are against. And when it comes down to it, if you're going to give these people some type of glue to keep them together, that is the perfect glue to keep them together. And you will find your ass without a job. And most of these politicians wouldn't survive a fucking day working in a retail job or on a farm or on a construction site. So you're going to need those social safety nets too. Let's watch Zohran Mamdani talk about Bibi, because I did see that he just released that. Grows up raising your poor kids, dude. Anybody raising kids is poor. I would love a bunch of mini Mamdanis too, and I hope we get them. Yeah, like Redong said, everybody sleeps. Everybody sleeps. I love people that are like, oh, I wish somebody would break into my house. Like, brother, do you think they're going to do it while you're awake? That is, like, if that's what you think happens in a robbery, you have never experienced real life. I grew up in the ghetto. I can tell you, when you get robbed, it is not when you expect it. You're not, like, prepared for it when it happens. That shit usually happens when you're not thinking about getting robbed. Janet says, I am disabled and can't work. I lost my partner and I lost his income and had to move. I am struggling and it sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, first of all. And second of all, like, I know that it sucks, but it would be even worse if it wasn't for all of the stuff that we do have. I don't know what state that you live in, Janet, but I can say that, like, specifically here in California, like, you know, there are all kinds of social safety nets that help people out. And, you know, I'm proud to pay taxes that help other people. I'm not mad at all that I pay the taxes I pay. Would I like to see my taxes go to things that I feel are better uses of my money? Would I like to see actual waste, fraud, and corruption dealt with in this country? 100%. 100% I would. I would like to see a report card for politicians that tell me whether or not they followed through on the policies that they ran on. I would like to see transparency in the form of some type of receipt that tells me where my tax money goes when I spend it. You know, like, this is the stuff that, like, to be honest with you, everybody should agree with. You know, like, I do want to, you know, no, look, there are no trans people getting money from the Chips and Science Act specifically because they're trans. I don't know, there might be trans people that are getting it for different reasons, but not because of transistors. But obviously, you know, if in the country we were spending money on absolutely like truly ridiculous shit that people could 1000% like prove that was bad, I would be like, okay, let's not spend money on that. Let's spend money on the veterans. Let's spend money on the homeless. Let's spend money on rehab programs. You know, like let's work on making the United States of America better, right? But generally, almost every single time that I've ever been shown a story by right-wing conservatives that they fed off of, much like the screwworm, where it was like, look at all these, we're paying money to sterilize flies. Like, you know, I've spent enough time researching these subjects and paying enough attention to all this, and part of it is because of my background in my profession. But I know about the sterilized flies that they dropped in, was it the 50s or the 70s? I think it was the 70s. The 70s in Texas to deal with the screwworm infestation the last time that it happened. So when I see a story like that where it says that we're, sterilizing flies, I immediately know that you're full of shit and you don't know anything about the subject, right? And now, of course, we have screwworm problems because we defunded that. And now there's screwworms. And when I see something that says like now, oh, we're, sterilizing mosquitoes, I know almost immediately that most likely that means something else. That it's not what you think, that your first reaction to it is probably the wrong reaction to that. But I do want transparency. I do want to see receipts for where my tax money is going, how it's being spent. And to be honest with you, that's the type of thing that we should be able to see. Can you shut that door? That way. I'm sure they found it. I have this one in the... oh, yeah, I was going to watch the Netanyahu one. So we should watch that first. Let's see if my encoder is going to pop back up here. Give me 1 second. There we go. It's back. We're back. Okay, so this is... you guys might have buffered there. This is Zohran Mamdani, and this is him, his message from his NYC mayor's office page, talking about Benjamin Netanyahu being a war criminal. So let's watch this. Like I said, I really like Zohran Mamdani. I said when he got elected, I was like, we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And here we go. He's doing the things he said he would do. This is the one thing I think so far that he said he was going to try, and it seems like, to be honest, he failed. It seems like he's not going to do it, but let's see what he says about this. And, maybe there's something else that can be done. Like in my opinion, if he can't do it, then who can, right? Then who can? Who can do it? Who can follow through? He's not the only person out there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we need independent ethics probes to investigate the government, like Doge, but for real. Exactly. That's what I was saying. I was like, the funny thing about the whole Doge thing is if you would have told me that you're putting into place somebody that was not just the owner of fucking Twitter, I would have 100% gotten behind it, because there is waste, fraud, and corruption in our government, but it's not the people working at fucking DMV. As much as you may hate the people working at the DMV, sometimes for legitimate reasons, they're not the problem. The problem is corrupt politicians, and it's funny that all of these MAGA Republicans were like, we gotta get rid of the waste, fraud, and corruption. These politicians are corrupt, and you're like, yeah, there are corrupt politicians, and they didn't get rid of any of them. They fired your auntie who worked at the DMV. Congrats. That really did a lot of good. So anyways, here's Zohran Mamdani talking about Benjamin Netanyahu.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people, for the maiming of tens of thousands of children as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia.
Jesus.
For the targeting of neonatal hospitals and maternity care centers, denying newborns even the chance to live. For the countless people he starved as he blocked food and humanitarian aid from reaching them. For the gunning down of hundreds of aid workers.
I didn't play the video. Hold on. We're starting over. So you guys are just listening to me listen to him. Yeah, where is Angela? I haven't seen her in a long time. I mean, I took 4 months off, so she probably left me. All right, here we go. Here's Zohran Mamdani talking about Benjamin Netanyahu, where you guys can actually see him talking, not just listening to him.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people, for the maiming of tens of thousands of children, as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia, for the targeting of neonatal hospitals and maternity care centers, denying newborns even the chance to live, for the countless people he starved as he blocked food and humanitarian aid from reaching them, for the gunning down of hundreds of aid workers and journalists. And just last month, the UN confirmed that Palestinian children continue to be deliberately targeted and killed by Israeli armed forces, more than 8 months after the so-called ceasefire. The list goes on and on, all as we, as Americans, pay for the bombs that do the killing. There is a reason the International Criminal Court issued a warrant for his arrest. As human beings, we have spent generations building a shared understanding that there are crimes so grave they offend all of humanity. Anyone, with their eyes, with their heart, with their conscience, should recognize the devastation he has wrought and understand that he belongs before a court of law. As I've said, I agree with the ICC that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested and tried for his crimes, as I do for anyone else charged by the ICC. My administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came here. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does, and I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any other war criminal at large. While we cannot end the genocide on our own, we can decide whether our silence will become another weapon, and we can examine every tool we have to defend the humanity and dignity of all people. That is my commitment to you.
All right. Okay. Look, it isn't an arrest. It's not an arrest. And that's disappointing. But just him being able to stand up and say those things, who else is doing that? Even for like the most progressive people that are out there, Bernie Sanders, AOC, their statements are generally to the positive of that they stand against Netanyahu's war crimes, but that they're not that. That is pretty 100% honest, and he's going to take a lot of shit for that, and he's going to be attacked for that, and you're going to have a lot of people that are losing their fucking mind over that. And when we say that Netanyahu is bombing school children, and tens of thousands of children have been targeted by that administration and have died, we need to also not forget Donald Trump's recent threats to Iran, that he's going to target infrastructure, that he's going to target bridges, that he's going to target energy, that he's going to attack the infrastructure of the Iranian people, because that's what it is. He's not attacking the infrastructure of the Iranian government. He's hoping to attack and harm civilians in Iran in the hopes that those people will then turn against their own government. But as I said earlier, that ship has already sailed. We promised these people regime change. We promised to come in and relieve them from a legitimately terrible Iranian government that has committed human rights crimes against women and children as well. And Donald Trump is no better. And he is now attacking the same people that he said that he was going to free and that he was going to help, because he never meant that in the first place. It was all bullshit. And he's just as bad as Netanyahu. And the crimes that he is allegedly about to commit on these people are just as bad as the ones that Netanyahu has committed on the people of Gaza. So when he says that about Benjamin Netanyahu, and he says that we shouldn't be supporting this guy, well, the thing about that is that not only does our current administration support those crimes against children, but we've also now committed those crimes against children, as I said earlier, when we talk about 300 school children being bombed in the first week of this war and killed by a missile that was, as many people pointed out, manufactured in the state of Ohio. We have to realize that the reason that Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't have to fear coming to America and being arrested is because if he has to, then anywhere that Donald Trump goes, he has to as well. Really, both Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested for war crimes, because at the end of the day, the Iranian government is not a good government. It is not a government that I support in any way, shape, or form. But the way to help those people is definitely not by destroying their ability to get clean water and to procure food and making their situation worse because your ego is harmed because you entered a war that was never going to be a positive outcome for the United States of America, and now you need a way out of it, and so you're choosing to hurt those people. As I've said before, I stand against all governments that harm the citizenry, whether it's Israel, Iran, America, whoever it is. Like, we, the people, we the citizens of these countries are the ones that are always the ones that have to pay the cost for these people's dick swinging contest. And enough is enough. If I wish that he could follow through with that promise. So that sucks, but I like the statement. It was a pretty good statement on his part. I'll give him that. We already gave them 20 years ago regime change. Yeah. Now we're buying them again. Yeah. Because it's bullshit. Because it's all bullshit. It's always been bullshit. Just like we were going to regime change, Vietnam. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just one point or another where, like, when are people going to actually, like, wake up and realize that this isn't, it's never been man versus woman, left versus right, straight versus homosexual. It's always been those that have against those that don't, right? Those that can versus those that cannot. That's always been the struggle. And, like I was watching that show on Argentina today, and, there's lots of stuff to be said about certain socialist policies that were enacted in Argentina that did not, in the end, come through and come through for the people of Argentina. And once again, the whole story there is power. It's corrupt people that have been have taken the trust of the electorate and have used it to, instead of enriching the people, enriching themselves. And even in those cases, they used the facade of taking care of people. Meanwhile, when they were creating certain infrastructure projects, they were funneling that money to Swiss bank accounts. Because if, and this is something, like I say, I give the left a lot of shit about fighting with each other. I give the left a lot of shit about, like, attacking each other over candidates and over policies. And I always say, like, generally, if we're on the same page fundamentally about, like, our moral values and what we're trying to accomplish in this country, then we need to figure out a way to get along. But the one thing I do have to say is that, when it comes to something like socialist policies, or even on the other side of the aisle, capitalistic or whatever, like, it's about putting the right people in power. And the one thing I will 100% give credit to the left for is that, that they are very strict about who they want in office. And they fucking attack their own candidates, sometimes I think for the wrong reasons. And they oftentimes attack each other, a lot of the times for the wrong reasons. But obviously we need candidates in charge, in power, that are not going to take, hundreds of millions of dollars from infrastructure projects and funnel them into their Swiss bank accounts, and that can happen to anybody. That can happen to conservative politicians. That can happen with socialistic politicians. It's a people problem, not a party problem. And that's why I continue to say that we shouldn't be voting for people based on party. We should be voting for people based on policy. And oftentimes, obviously, that's going to, at least for me, you're not going to hear me, strategizing for Republican candidates because they don't believe in women's bodily autonomy. They believe in persecuting people of other religions that aren't theirs. They believe in, deporting undocumented immigrants that are here working on green cards and that are helping support our economy, and they enjoy, pushing things like fear of the other. So a lot of times I'm not going to be able to stand here and tell you that there's a conservative politician that I support. But, at the end of the day, we also have to do our best to find good candidates on the left that we can put in charge of things, so that way when we do have the ability to make change in this country, that we do it the right way. And we get people that benefit us, because, like I said, at the end of the day, it's never been black versus white. It's never been male versus female, or gay versus straight. It's always been those that can versus those that cannot. And right now, they can do a lot to ruin our lives, and they know that we do not currently have the power to make the changes to make those lives better. So they are the cans, we are the cannots, and they are the haves, and we are the have-nots. But, not to be all serious, absolutely a system is only as good as people who are running it. 100%, Janet. 100%. Generally speaking, they're all somewhat the same. Exactly, the establishment. And I've always said, like, a good ship does involve stability. A good ship is ran on stability. I do believe that you do need moderate voices, and I do think that you need your fringe voices that push the moderate, right? Like, you want a steady hand on the wheel, and then you want people that are fiery pushing, and that's why even like old and young should be able to work together. The whole idea is balance. You have older people that have experience, that generally work off of that experience and hopefully have derived some wisdom from that experience, and that's not always true, but that is the hope. And then you have young people that are impassioned and still very, hopeful and not beaten down or jaded at that push. And that's why I think that a lot of times you see young people that are, more socialist, that want to, push for these big ideas. And you have a lot of older people that, have seen like something that happened in Argentina and say, hey, we have to be careful. But like, that shit has to balance out. It can't, you can't just go super fucking crazy one side. That's what we're seeing right now with the Republicans, right? Is like they're pushing these really extreme ideas, and we see how poorly they're working out, because what that really does is it gives free rein to an authoritarian figure to use your passion against you. And the other side of that, obviously, is we see a very moderate push from establishment Democrats, where we don't see any significant change at all, and that ends up with a very disillusioned electorate that hates their government and their candidates because they've never actually accomplished anything. So what we really need is we need that balance of, we need the young people that push and want more and think big and are impassioned, and then we need the proper people in the older, wiser, more experienced group that can take those ideas and find the things that we can accomplish and get those things done. And more than anything, we need a balance in our country of wisdom and passion, and obviously we also need to have a healthy helping of empathy for those around us as well. So hopefully it's going to slap hard back to the left because of Trump and company. Oh, I'd imagine it would. I'd imagine it's going to swing really hard back to the left, to be honest with you. Like I said, that's why I like candidates like Mom Donnie. Is like, he's a democratic socialist, and I think that, like, if the right keeps fucking around, they're going to find out. You keep pushing people. You keep making these young people super fucking angry, and they're going to start pushing for ideas that, like, you're not going to like. I mean, you've already got me. I'm not exactly a spring chicken, but at the end of the day, I will vote for the candidate that comes in and says, I am going to tear down every Trump monument. I am going to destroy every single thing that Trump created. Like, I will vote for that, man. I will vote for the the man or woman who stands up there and says ICE agents will be prosecuted for the murder of American civilians. I will vote for a person that comes through the door and says we are no longer funding genocide in Israel or wars in Iran. That is willing to say that, you know, like, all of this is bullshit and we're gonna stop doing this now. 100%. You better be careful. That shit will swing very hard to the left. Oh yeah, I was gonna say we have to watch this before I get off of here because it's in the title. Okay, I want to get water though first. Let me grab some water. You guys gotta watch Chair Stream for a second. Chair Stream. Oh, my chair got $5. Thank you. Thank you for the $5 for the chair stream. I mean, if that's how I get money, I'm just going to chair stream from now on. That says a lot about my content. It paid me to go away. Yeah, Ossoff is looking good. I have to be honest. It's hard to keep up with all of the different people. I've told you guys before, I'm not even a political fucking commentator. I joined YouTube to make fun of MAGA for saying that Democrats drink the blood of whatever adrenochrome or whatever the fuck it is. And now I'm on here trying to keep up with all of this shit. You got the shenanigans shirt on right now? Oh, dude, say shenanigans one more time. The chair literally supports the entire show. It's having to fucking, it's gotta support my fat ass. I'm getting old and I'm getting fat. It's happening. Yeah, I hope he's as good as he sounds. People are going to matter of fact about the facts of the matter. Accountability is a must. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think that if you get, you know, like one of the big concerns with Gavin Newsom is whether or not, if he gets in office, actually, if he follows through with, you know, prosecuting like ICE agents and stuff like that. Like, you want to see this country just go absolutely fucking bananas. If somebody like Newsom gets elected president on the promises that they're going to hold these people, you know, responsible for the things that have happened during this administration, and then they get into office and start preaching, you know, gotta stay calm, gotta not, like, this country will absolutely lose its shit if we get somebody in office and they do not follow through with the things that they run on as far as a left-wing person goes. So choose wisely when it comes to those primaries, guys. Choose wisely when it comes to those primaries. I do have swords. I do have a firearm. I'm ready. All right, like I said, I've been saying this for like an hour and a half as I just sit up here and rant. But we do have to watch this video. This is This is Jennifer Welch and Pumps from IHIP News, two of my favorite ladies. And this video is called Stephen Miller Suffers Total Collapse. GOP in total meltdown over this. I hate video names nowadays. I saw somebody the other day, Matt Dillahunty, actually. I really like Matt Dillahunty, complaining that he had unsubscribed from Adam Mockler, who's my boy. I love Adam Mockler. For most of you guys know, I interviewed Adam Mockler when he was a young guy and was just starting. And I love Adam, but his titles to his videos are getting annoying as hell. And Matt Dillahunty actually unsubscribed from Adam and said he's tired of getting clickbaited. So for all the YouTubers that don't watch my show, that don't care about what I have to say, stop making your videos say shit like Trump collapses, the government in shambles. Like, dude, just fucking you're big enough. You have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers. Just like literally you could name your video, went for a walk with my dog today, and you're going to get 200,000 views. Okay? Like, just name the video what it is. A little wordplay is fun. I don't mind a little wordplay. Okay? Trump melts down. Not an issue for me. Okay? If you're going to cry like a little biatch on the video, you can say Trump melts down or Trump cries. That's fine. But like, the video names need to come back to reality a little bit. Okay? They do. So, sorry, IHIP ladies, but I think the video, if this doesn't deliver on Stephen Miller suffering a total collapse, I'm going to have to give this video an 8 out of 10, because 8 out of 10 is the lowest I can go for Jennifer Welch and Pumps, because they're my favorite. Okay? All right, here we go.
All right, Ben Shapiro is completely triggered by yours truly, and you have to understand this about MAGA men. They live in a constant state of fear that somebody is going to expose them for being the neutered, low-T pieces of shit that they are. So here's Ben Shapiro, grown-ass man, melting down on Twitter. Pop this up. I agree with Jennifer Welch. She definitely shouldn't have homeschooled her kids, mainly because trapping a child for hours in a room with Jennifer Welch is a form of torture prohibited under the 8th Amendment and the Geneva Convention.
Dude, little Ben Shabibo better watch it. Like, I'm pretty sure in a fist fight, Jennifer Welch wins that. In fact, I'm not pretty sure. I am 100% sure. Like, dude, Lil Ben better not see Jennifer in the streets. Like, Jennifer would whoop Ben's ass, dude. Like, that's not a question. Like, dude, calm that down, brother. You don't want that smoke. You don't want to see Jennifer in the street.
Ben, not only can you not find a clitoris on a woman, but you are quite the comedian.
Hold on.
Yeah, you effin' with some wet-ass P-word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass P-word. Give me everything you got for this wet-ass P-word. P-word is female genitalia.
I want my listeners to know that Ben Shapiro is the man who, number one, needs to go get his eyebrows waxed. And I mean that sincerely. You are on camera every day, Ben. Go do something about your eyebrows. But number two, Ben Shapiro is the man that after Cardi B's song WAP came out, he couldn't understand why.
Yeah, you effin' with some wet-ass P-word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass P-word. Give me everything you got for this wet-ass P-word.
Why a vagina would get so wet. He took this literally, that women had buckets and mops. So he goes and asks his wife, why are vaginas getting this wet? And his wife is a doctor. And she said, I think they must have some form of an STD. Not realizing what a tell this was, that Ben Shapiro has never gotten his wife's vagina wet. And so, Ben, go play over in your sandbox, all right? You're not funny. You're not hot. Go take a biology course and figure out where the clitoris is. Circle back with me when you do. Moving along. Stephen Miller has been fear-mongering about communism on Hannity. Let's play the clip.
Democrat Party has embraced not only socialism.
Wait, didn't Hunter Biden the other day, didn't he low-key say that Stephen Miller was gay? Like it is what it is, right? It's just like a bunch of self-hate. Really, like that's what it comes down to, right? Like all of these guys. Like I mean, Miss Lindsey Graham. We all know about Miss Lindsey Graham, but may she rest in peace. Okay, Miss Lindsey Graham, self-hating. Okay, Brett Kavanaugh's biggest defender. Stephen Miller, I'm pretty sure Hunter Biden the other day made he liked the circle back button. It's a lot. There's a lot of self-hate over there, and that's what Hunter Biden was saying. Hunter Biden said there's a lot of animosity for the fact that they have to keep that stuff in the closet because the way they got elected was by hating themselves. And I get it. That's an easy vote. You just come out and spew and regurgitate hate, fear, vitriol, and we get you elected. So they chose the easy route, but now they got to live in the closet and they hate themselves. And they're taking it out on everybody else because they can't live a free life. Just come on out. Let us support you. Grab yourself a rainbow flag. Come on over here and help us get you some equal rights, brother.
They've embraced communism. Straight up, outright, full-throated communism. They are now electing candidates who want to take private industry over, give it to the government, suspend the Constitution.
Wait. But you mean like government gas stations? You mean like owning 10% of Intel stock? When you say owning private businesses, and you have the President of the United States taking the CEOs of corporations with him on trips to China, is that communism? I mean, that sounds a whole lot like communism. In fact, I would say that sounds more like communism than what Zohran Mamdani is doing, right? That's socialism, and I know people don't know the difference between socialism and communism. But like I said, easiest vote in the world. Easiest vote in the world. Just say the word communism, create some more Red Scare, create some more Lavender Scare, and you get elected. It's the easiest vote in the world.
Abolish the Senate, abolish borders, abolish prisons, abolish jail.
I've heard enough. Like, can you believe that Trump is so unpopular that that's the guy they put forward on Fox News? That guy right there. And number one, he's lying. Everything he says is a lie. He tried to scare everyone with immigrants. It backfired. Now he's doing a borrowed, failed play from the McCarthy era, trying to scare voters because he knows MAGA voters live in a constant state of fear. So all he does is stoke fear. The communist call is coming from inside the house. You might want to go talk to Kanks after you get him a little man bra and talk to him about all the communism he's
Kanks McTaco tits.
stirring up in the Oval. Spare us, Stephen Miller. Fuck you and fuck your wife too. Moving along. This next video is incredibly important. I just read to you Ben Shapiro trying to be a comedian. And then I just played a clip for you of Stephen Miller. The Stephen Millers and the Ben Shapiros are propagandists. They want to scare the electorate and not offer any truth, morality, inspiration, aspiration. There's one politician right now who has absolute moral clarity, and it is Zohran Mamdani. And I want to play you this clip because I think this is so important in a time where people are justifying and denying genocide, one of the two, that somebody is crystal clear about a homicidal, genocidal war criminal, which, by the way, Ben Shapiro has no issue with, nor does Stephen Miller. Play the clip.
As I've said, I agree with the ICC. The Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested and tried.
I told you guys. I said I was like, people are going to get up in arms about this. Is she about to show me that everybody is already up in arms? Did this not just come out today? Are we already up in arms?
For his crimes, as I do for anyone else charged by the ICC. My administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came here. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does. And I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City.
And so I just think that's really important because for Stephen Miller, for Ben Shapiro, for Donald Trump, war criminals are welcome in
because like I said, because they're war criminals. Is that Trump is doing the same thing that Netanyahu is doing, and I know that like even on the left, it's still like kind of difficult to come to terms with this. But when you start attacking the infrastructure of the Iranian people, you're not attacking the government. Like that government has zero care what its populace wants, right? Like that's what makes Iran resilient, is like they have nothing to lose. Like when you say, oh, we've already taken out all of their military, their inflation is at 600%. They have no ability to generate income for their country. The Iranian government doesn't have a reason to surrender. Like that's insane to even think. Like they don't care about their own populace. So when you're attacking Iranian civilians, thinking that somehow going to force the government to then surrender, or that it's going to force the people to rise up against an Iranian government, which is already just constantly putting them back down, like all you're doing is creating more and more hate for America. There's more and more hate from people that already have lost everything that they had, which was already very minute. They already had almost nothing. And now you're going to attack like their ability to wake up in the morning and have clean water, to have food, to be able to go to their job and still make at least enough money to buy a loaf of bread. You're going to attack those civilians. Donald Trump is a war criminal, just like Netanyahu, and so they're all the same. There is no difference between these people. It's that meme. Corporate would like you to identify the difference between these two pictures. Netanyahu, Trump. It's the same picture.
Oval. They defend war criminals, and I would even argue a lot of them are war criminals themselves, and that's just my opinion. Palantir is a really diabolical organization that has received a lot of subsidies from our taxpayer money. They released a manifesto, which is beyond disturbing. But beyond that, the CEO of Palantir, Alex Karp, is the guy who you see who always appears like coked up or, like Vyvanse or Adderall, like he just snorted it and then went on TV. He is now sharing his thoughts on Mamdani voters. Play the clip.
The average, Ivy League grad voting for this mayor is highly annoyed that their education is not that valuable. And the person down the street who knows how to drill for oil and gas who's moved to Texas.
Dude, these people, it's so crazy too, because forever it's kind of been looked at as like the moderate Democrat establishment as being like really condescending to their own voter base, and like that's legit. Like there is definitely some issues in the Democratic Party, and they're still there. Of being super condescending to the voter base. To see this now coming from people like Alex Karp, who he's a dog shit human being too. He's said it before. They don't like to use the word kill chain. I like to use the word kill chain. Look up any video on Alex Karp. He's a dog shit human being. He is constantly cracked out. He's Peter Till's lapdog, and he needs to go to Argentina and live with his boy. Like, Alex Karp is a terrible human being, and the fact that he's now going to start condescending to kids that took on college debt because this is what like our country has told these kids that they should do. We've tried to create a more educated society. We've tried to create better jobs for people. We've put these kids through a predatory loan system, and now we're gonna look down on them. Okay.
As a more valuable profession. And I think that annoys the fuck out of these people.
These oligarchs are such a stain on our country right now because they are doing the dirty work for this regime. Yep. And the oligarchs are funded and largely successful because of taxpayer money. We have a system where we have instituted corporate welfare, where corporations get all of the welfare. Airlines not allowed to fail. Banks not allowed to fail. Cancer patients in the United States, tough titties, you're going to die.
And you're going to lose your
So
house.
when Stephen Miller talks about all this shit, He's talking about it to distract you from the fact that he supports a bunch of billionaires plundering the American taxpayer. Our system is set up to aid and assist these immoral, war criminal style oligarchs like Elon Musk, like Alex Karp, like Peter Thiel, and then to demonize working class people who never really aspired to be rich, but just wanted to not worry about money and maybe.
And not even just demonize them, but to actually pit them against each other. If you listen to what he's saying there, he's saying, oh, well, these college graduates are bitching, but, you know, actually the oil worker is still worth something. You know, he's not giving you props as being an oil worker. You notice he's not in the oil fields. He don't know anything about that life. He's never been blue collar. I grew up with dudes working in the oil fields. I grew up in Bakersfield, California. That is the oil fields. If you ever seen There Will Be Blood, that's Oildale, California. That is Bakersfield, California. I grew up with people in the oil fields. That man does not respect you. That man does not care about you. But that man 100% wants you to hate the person with a college degree. That man 100% wants that person with a college degree to hate that person that works in the oil field. But the reality is both of you are getting stolen from. You got stolen from as a college graduate when you got induced into having these aspirations of being a better, more well-educated person that's going to get a good job, that's going to be able to lead to success and happiness. And at the end of the day, the system was rigged to keep you on you're paying that loan for how many years? How many years? How many years? How much interest? You're constantly on the hook for that bill. And on the other hand, the guy who's working in the oil field, losing fingers, breaking his back. There's not going to be retirement for you. You're going to make a lot of money in the oil fields, and then there's going to be nothing left when you're old and you need money. And like you said, when your wife gets cancer, and the only wealth that you have is the house that you purchased and finally might have even paid off, you're going to lose it because that's the only way you can keep your wife alive. It's not, he wants you to hate each other. And really, you should hate him. He's the vampire. He's the one sucking your lifeblood away. He's the one convincing you to fight against each other. Like, it shouldn't be the oil worker versus the person who went into college debt. It should be you versus them.
We go on vacation a couple of times a year. And then RFK Jr., he has been such a disaster for medical research, for health, for our country as a whole. And he is now denying the Trump administration is to blame for the explosive diarrhea. Play the clip.
No. Dude, RFK Jr. is the saddest of stories. Because I continue to say this. Look, RFK Jr. is a frat boy. That's what he is. At the end of the day, RFK Jr. is a frat boy that wanted to be a Kennedy. He wanted to be like his uncle. He wanted to be like his dad. Super bad. He approached the Harris campaign before he joined with Trump. She was like, no, we can't have nut job vibes. Strategically, to be honest, that was a bad choice, to be honest with you, because obviously all the RFK Jr. people that were talking mad shit about Donald Trump, and they were, stop acting like you weren't, were talking mad shit about Donald Trump, then voted for Donald Trump. And if you go back in my videos far enough, you will see me say that most likely that was going to be the tipping point, that RFK Jr.'s supporters that went over to Donald Trump would end up being the difference in votes. And I don't know if that worked out that way or not, but I can tell you it definitely had an impact. But really, at the end of the day, RFK Jr., I've worked in the health food industry for 20 years now. He is the person that takes every story literally. There is not a conspiracy theory that this man will not believe, okay? And he will tell you all about all the things you should be doing, all the health that you should be living, while he is sucking up the TRT. He will imbibe the methylene blue, and he will drink the raw milk, and he will have the shits too. But he is not a guy you put in charge of the Health and Human Services. He's the guy you're shopping at Whole Foods and you go to pick up something and he goes, I wouldn't buy that. They actually, you know what they do to those beans? That RFK Jr. should be somewhere in a Whole Foods food court talking to people about the benefits of raw milk. It's one of the saddest stories.
Those criticisms are invalid. We've had no cuts in our surveillance program. We did cuts in the food network.
Dude, and he is the biggest cuck too. Oh my god, dude. Just that picture of Donald Trump on the plane forcing him to eat McDonald's, that was the end of any kind of respect he could possibly, not that he had any, but even for the people that were like, oh, hey, at least he's trying to live a healthy life. At least he's, yeah, sure, he's hell-bent on pushing conspiracy theories about vaccines and autism and all that stuff, but he's mostly harmless other than all that harm. When you're doing the mental gymnastics to just try and make it okay. That picture, that was it. Him on that plane being forced to eat McDonald's with coked up ass Donald Jr. and Donald Trump just with that messed up look on his face, like, I'm making him do this. This is my bitch right here. That was that was the end of it right there.
Always, these MAGA men, it is no accountability ever. He and Elon Musk stormed into the federal government, /
Yeah, Belfast. Never mind air, water pollution, get red dye out of Rice Krispies. The most ironic part of all this is, that RFK Jr. used to litigate for or against people that were polluting. He used to be 100% climate change. That's why it's crazy with all these people. Like, it's so insane to me that somebody can see all of the tweets from Elon Musk back when he used to, when he was in Tesla, talking about climate change. Talking about there's literally a tweet that says Tesla is the most pro LGBT company in the world with pride flags and all that stuff. It's a grift. It's a grift. RFK Jr., like I said, went to the Harris campaign before he went to Trump's campaign. He did not care what side gave him a spot as long as somebody gave him a spot. These are the biggest grifters that have ever existed in the entirety of humanity.
We're starting to see what happens when you don't monitor these things. Government is not supposed to be run like a business because businesses are ruthless. Businesses only care about profits. Businesses make sure the CEO makes tens of millions of dollars. Look at Starbucks, while the Starbucks worker makes minimum wage. Corporations exploit workers. We do not want a government that's set up like a corporation that exploits workers. And that's what's happening now. Our government, even before Donald Trump, has been on the path of servicing the top 1% and exploiting working class people and transferring the wealth, which is not that much, of working class people, and further assisting the people who don't need assistance with tax breaks. But more than anything, all of this deregulation that Republicans champion is a death policy. Deregulations are death policies. What they are consumer protections. And the Democrats need to claim this. We are the party of life. We are the party of consumer protections. These corporations are never going to protect their customers. They're only going to protect their profits. And now this is the way the government is functioning. And interestingly, the company behind the explosive diarrhea outbreak is a MAGA donor. They pushed for this deregulation. Pop this up.
Oh, I hope she shows all of this stuff about Taylor Farms. They gave $1 million during this. They hired a person that was either a former Trump administration employee or a current Trump administration employee to a job. They did a bunch of stuff, like all during this outbreak, not like before it. So you can't say, well, oh, they're just MAGA supporters and it just happened that they gave this money to them. This all happened during this. So this is a 2025 super PAC that they gave the $1 million. And then there's, I hope she covers that, the stuff that happened during the outbreak.
Just leaving.
If not, we could probably watch there's an Adam Mockler video, and I think there's also a Keith Edwards video on it.
This here. Taylor Fresh Foods, Inc., the company behind Taylor Farms, gave $1 million to Trump's MAGA Inc. super PAC in 2025. So all of these companies that champion for this deregulation that is going to make people sick and kill people, they're championing for their own profits. Government cannot be run like a business. Businesses are ruthless. Businesses do not give a shit about human life. And I just want to beat this down one more time. MAGA is an anti-family, pro-pedophilia death cult. That's what they are. That's what Ben Shapiro supports. That's what Stephen Miller supports. That's what Donald Trump supports. That's what RFK Jr. supports. And the Democrats have got to wise up and start messaging against this corporate welfare that the Trump regime is pushing. All right, that's all I have. Please pre-order my book, Not Today Fascist.
This is like our third book. Pre-order a book. Pre-order Jennifer's book. It's probably a good book. Look, at the end of the day, everything she's saying about all of that stuff, it used to crack me up, because I would say, well, obviously capitalism has these flaws that we need to speak about. If we're going to say that we're going to use capitalism as a system, then we also have to recognize the errors and faults of capitalism as well. And everybody would go, oh, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. It's the capitalism we have nowadays. It's crony capitalism. It's not real capitalism. And then as soon as Donald Trump came into office, and the exact same things are happening, and crony capitalism is actually like more apparent than ever before. We have socialism for corporations. You're going to see socialism soon for Elon Musk once again, as what was SpaceX at today, $103. 103. It might have gotten back up to 110. You're going to see more subsidies for Elon Musk. You're going to see more subsidies for companies like Palantir. You're going to see socialism for corporations, while you watch the citizens of this country continue to get milk dry. Just absolutely milk dry. So when you have people out there that are so hypocritical that when you say, okay, let's talk about capitalism, let's talk about like the flaws of capitalism, and let's just talk about how could we fix it? That's your style. You want to do capitalism. Let's talk about how we could do it better. And they go, oh, well, what's going on right now? It's crony capitalism. And then they literally get the prime example of crony capitalism shown to them in their face. You talk about Doge, you talk about waste, fraud, and corruption. And you go, yeah, you know what? Let's talk about waste, fraud, and corruption. You're right. That is a problem. Let's talk about it. And they go, oh, they're going to do something about it. And then they watch the most wasteful, most corrupt, most fraudulent government to exist in American history, and they turn their back on it. You just have to realize at this point, these people are in a cult. They're never going to change their opinions on these things. They have seen communism in the form of government ownership of private companies. They've seen communism and government working with gas stations to lower prices and price fixing. You've seen socialism for companies like Elon Musk and other AI companies that are going to get kickbacks. You've seen it in the past, obviously, with the bank bailouts. And you've seen nothing but waste, fraud, and corruption at a level that has actually never been seen in this country. And these people do not bat an eye. They don't care. They're sunk cost fallacy. They're part of a cult. They are going to drink the Kool-Aid. And when Donald Trump finally eats his last cheeseburger, all of these people are going to be left, and they are going to be listless vessels that are looking for something, anything to get their fix of Donald Trump. And there will be nothing that is ever going to get them as high as Donald Trump did. And it's going to be sad, and it's going to be something that this country has to heal from. So she is 100% right. Yeah, they could use AI to solve so many problems. The fact they're not tells us everything we need. Exactly. They don't want to use AI to fix climate change. They don't want to use AI to, work out problems in our economy. They want to use AI to, create AI dating bots to keep you busy. It's bread and circuses. It's bread and circuses. I said the other night when Binney was on here, and Binney was like, she was ranting about people being entertained, and not, like I said, everybody has their way of doing things, and I really appreciate Binney. I really like Binney because Binney is a 10 toes down. She's a fucking soldier. She's a grunt, and she gets out there and does the hard job. And some of us are good at that. Some of us are good at giving speeches, and some of us are good at making people laugh. And it takes all of us, right? But at the end of the day, Binney is right. It's bread and circuses, and they want to give you an AI girlfriend. They want to convince you that you're going to own robots that are going to do dishes and your laundry, and you're going to have all this free time. You're not going to have those things. Ask yourself one question. In fantasy movies and fantasy books, almost constantly you can see a little glimpse of the future. Sci-fi books, sci-fi movies, right? It's not always perfect one for one, but you almost always see a little glimpse of the future, right? And in every single sci-fi movie, every fantasy novel that you read, when you see robots, I guess that's a misnomer. There are no fantasy robot movies. It's all sci-fi, science fiction. I'm going to get yelled at by book nerds, and I don't want to get yelled at by book nerds. In all science fiction, every one of them that involves robots, who has the robots? Is it everyday people? Is it middle-class people? Is it the impoverished? No, right? Like, the people that have robots that are doing stuff in their homes, people, that are driving taxis, those are all rich people. They're wealthy people. Those are the people that are going to be allowed the time to become more degenerate. And that's what they're going to do, because we see that with billionaires. Billionaires, they get to a point where they have so much money, they need to figure out ways to spend it, right? And when they start to do that, they become lonely, become bored, because when you have all of your needs taken care of for you, when you have so much money that you don't have to concern yourself with survival. They've always believed in something called healthy adversity, not bad adversity, but healthy adversity. That when you don't have that to keep you busy, to keep you moving forward and looking forward to a different day and something new, then you find yourself spinning your wheels and you go crazy. And these people, these wealthy people, they're going to have robots to do their jobs, and they can depend on AI to raise their children and all that stuff. They're going to become more degenerate, and that's going to come at your expense. That's just literally what it's going to be. 5 Alarm, good to see you. Glad you came by. Thanks for stopping in. I think we're gonna watch one more video, or maybe we'll watch 2. But we're gonna watch these 2 funny videos, and then I'm getting the hell out of here, because Binney's job is to fight people. Johnny 5 was built by an immigrant. That is true. I love Binney. Yeah. But like I said, what I do is I try to keep people sane, try to laugh with people, try to have a good time. So what I'm going to do here is my dog chases a fly. Get that fly. Is what we're going to do here. You guys know Henry Sir? I've showed you guys Henry Sir before. Henry Sir is a comedian from Canada that usually chirps the news. So usually does a little thing on whatever current events are happening. We watched one the other day where he did climate change. But Henry Sir is super funny. He's actually a stand-up comedian too. So you can check out. He's got his stand-up dates. Can we see him? Yeah, he's got his stand-up dates. Moncton. He's going to Moncton. I've learned so much about Canada. Moncton's a real city in Canada, guys. Okay. I wish I could tell you where it was, but I forgot. Somebody told me, though. But he's also Denver, San Diego, and Los Angeles. Really funny. I love this dude. So check out Henry Sir. This video is called 2026 Hot Take. Pedophilia is bad. He's also reading a Bret Hart book. Somebody said if I accepted Bret Hart as my Lord and Savior, that I could move to Canada and become a citizen. But little do they know I accepted Bret Hart as my Lord and Savior many years ago when I used to watch the Hart Foundation beat up on the rockers. Okay, so I'm already apparently a Canadian. So here's Henry Sir. Oh, I've already watched the Chinese robots fighting, dude. I've already watched it. I've already watched the Chinese robots fighting. All right, here we go.
Oh, hi. Hot Take Henry here. I hate Donald Trump for a lot of reasons. I'm sure The Apprentice was awesome, but apparently this is a hot take in the year 2026 of our Lord and Savior that people pretend to believe in. Pedophilia is bad. Really, really bad. Maybe it's the woke mind virus, but I think, and hear me out here, defending celebrities over literal children they've victimized is disgusting. With that same logic, I know Billie Jean's a good song, but separating the art from the artist doesn't make child predators okay. Jerry Seinfeld, Jimmy Page, Michael Jackson, they can all eat Donald Trump's shit-filled diapers because, again, pedophilia is bad, and it would be great if society actually started implementing that belief. A radical idea heading into the weekend. Let's believe victims even if a famous person hosted reality TV or could do the moonwalk. Celebrity worship's a scourge and the asteroid can't come fast enough. Have a great weekend, though. Fucking morons.
That's my dude right there. For reals though, like when did it become a hot take to say that people harming children is a bad thing? When Donald Trump became president. That's when it became a bad thing, and that seems really sus. You know, it seems sus that all of these Trump supporters, you know, right before Donald Trump got elected, were like, "Yo, let's check out those Epstein files. Why is everybody hiding them Epstein files? It's weird that no one is arresting anybody from the Epstein files." And then Donald Trump became the president of the United States, and we were like, yo, okay, so at least we'll get the Epstein files. And he's like, they're a hoax. There's no such thing. The guy, Larry Summers, he's in them, not me, even though they're a hoax. Obama and Biden, they wrote them. It's all a big hoax, but mostly the people that I don't like, those people are in them. And then, like, all of the Trump supporters were like, yeah, actually, you know, it's not that big of a deal anymore, and we don't know why you libs keep talking about it. It's crazy to us. You know, I just did that video the other day where I literally pointed out 6 people that had been part of Donald Trump's administration that had not been accused of harming children, but had actually been convicted of harming children. And it just seems really sus to me that the president of the United States would be mentioned in the Epstein files over 35,000 times, would have been a great friend of Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, referred to him as a terrific guy that likes women on the younger side. You know, then also had 6 people, just the 6 that I pointed out, that had been convicted of harming children. It just seems like there's a lot of coincidences, and it, you know, I've just got to say this. For anybody out there that's like, so what? He was in the Epstein files. So what? He knew him. That doesn't mean he did anything. If your neighbor had 35,000 times been referred to as knowing a pedo, would you trust them with your children? Because if you wouldn't, then you shouldn't probably trust them with, you know, an entire nation's children. Yeah, that would be bad. Anyways, it seems really weird, right? That's really weird. What's happening, Lindsay? What's going on? That was Sir Henry, just by the way. If you don't know who Sir Henry is, go check that shit out. He's amazing. He's super funny. And if you get a chance to see him in some stand-up, I'd go watch that too. When they started, yeah, I wish they would. I wish they would. All right. What are we got? Okay, we got one last video. I was gonna watch one more funny video because we haven't watched this guy's stuff in a long time. You guys remember Mr. Newberger? Have you guys watched that in a long time? He's the one that did the MAGA as a cult video. He does AI stuff, so don't persecute me, okay? Do not crucify me. Do not crucify me. All right, it's Mr. Newberger's AI funnies. Look, you know, he's using what he has. All right, to fight the good fight. So don't crucify me. All right, we're gonna use up some water. This Lake Mead is now gonna be out of water because I watched this. I'm really sorry about this, but we're gonna watch this shit because it looks funny. Okay, look, I have proclivities as well, and they're mostly for funny stuff, whether or not the person might have used AI. Don't hate me. All right, anyways, in the comments, tell me how much you hate me. This is Mr. Newberger's AI funnies, and the video is the Trojan Trump deleted scene from Elon Musk The Odyssey. this is some of the funniest shit of all time. Everything going on right now with the Odyssey, I seriously do not understand how people can't just go watch a movie and decide whether it's good or not after they leave the movie theater. But that's the world we live in nowadays, and Republicans have become a bunch of nerdy ass hall monitors that want to ruin everything and make everything less fun. This is Mr. Neuberger making fun of them. Yup, he just shed his diaper.
You really could have worn underwear, Elon. That was a choice.
I wanted to represent authentic Greek historical accuracy.
Well, it's accurately small like it is in Greek art. Amazing you fathered so many kids with that tiny thing.
Well, I mean, he didn't have to put it in. That's the main thing.
Hey, anyone seen the Tate brothers?
They were below you in the horse.
Shit, son.
Anyway, we can all slightly shift to the left.
This plan better work, Stephen. I am missing executive time for this.
The left will fall right into our plans and bring us right into their election headquarters where we can steal the midterms and protect your legacy.
It's a great plan, boss, and will keep us in power.
Dude, anytime that Chung dude starts making fun of people, I'm like, brother, you cannot. I don't know, like, the left is too nice. Like, that man is a walking, talking Jabba the Hutt. Like, that motherfucker, he looks like he ate Stephen Miller. Alright? Like, there is so much you could say. That is one of the ugliest human beings I have ever seen in my life. Let me start again. That is one of the ugliest things I have ever seen in my life. Not just human beings, just fucking period. He's one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life. Oh, god damn it. Did I do it again? Sorry. Alright, well, we'll start over. Let's start over. It's you guys gotta tell me when there's no video. You guys gotta tell me when there's no video. I do this so many times. Take two!
You really could have worn underwear, Elon. That was a choice.
It's probably a lot funnier when you can see it.
I wanted to represent authentic Greek historical accuracy.
Well, it's accurately small like it is in Greek art. Amazing you fathered so many kids with that tiny thing.
Hey, anyone seen the Tate brothers?
They were.
It's not seriously accurate though, because where is JD Vance's eyeliner? I don't see any JD Vance eyeliner. Also, where's the couch? Where's the couch?
Hey, anyone seen the Tate brothers?
They were below you in the horse.
Anyway, we can all slightly shift to the left.
It's the president of Venezuela.
This plan better work, Stephen. I am missing executive time for this.
The left will fall right into our plans and bring us right into their election headquarters where we can steal the midterms and protect your legacy.
It's a great plan, boss, and will keep us in power.
See, that's not a proper representation. Like, Chung is like so much uglier than that. Like that is not even close. Like, AI was like, no, we can't go that far. Like, Mr. Neuberger was like, make him uglier, and AI is like, uglier? I can't do anymore.
Hey, Mr. President, any chance I can borrow that straw?
Diabetes. Is that Bernie Sanders?
What a total and unmitigated disaster.
And what's the scale?
We should bring that back to our election headquarters and
No. Oh, it's too real. Oh, it's too real. Chuck Schumer's like, we need that. We should bring that back.
Scale.
We should bring that back to our election headquarters and show our constituents how crazy he is.
That will take the top 1% of my men to move that thing with its giant ass.
Think of all the starving people we could feed if we melted it down.
I can't believe they don't see the problem in building big statues to him.
And to think that they are calling us the commies.
They are starting to move us. The plan's working.
No, it is not Scared Ketchup, but that actually, I was gonna say that. I was like, this kind of reminds me of somebody. It does remind me of Scared Ketchup. The epic music's a little too loud for me. Wait, is that 5th place? Is that Riley Gaines? President of Venezuela is very uncomfortable. Wait, who has bigger titties, her or Trump?
I think we are finally inside.
I can open the hatch if I can get my arm out. Can you unclench your damn cheeks?
Something nice about being in a moving vehicle without a driver.
No. What the fuck is this?
Stephen, this is not the DNC headquarters. It's a garbage dump.
Well, we finally took out the garbage.
To the midterms.
To the midterms.
To the midterms.
I really hate that sad loser, Mr. Newberger.
Who, me?
That's pretty amazing. Okay, that's proper use of AI. I'm gonna go on the record. Proper use of AI right there. All right, that's it for me. I've used up my allotted time. They were definitely in his ass. All right, if you guys don't know, that's Mr. Newberger's funny AI clips. You guys should definitely go subscribe to Mr. Newberger. He's pretty amazing. I know, like I said, planet's going to shit. Things are going to be on fire. We're not going to have any water, but we're going down with the ship, brother. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. I had a good time. And hopefully I will be back on at one point in the near future, and I'll say hi, and we'll watch some videos. We only had like one technical difficulty tonight. That wasn't bad at all. Not bad at all. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your week. If I don't see you this weekend, have a good weekend. And yeah, I will hopefully see you guys soon.